Chapter 16:30. Sacred flame burning black hero the three-star city lord spread out his hands and said, "That's easy. I just need to not see him. You can be the middleman." "All right, I'll talk about it when I see him." Yao Daxiong said, "Oh right, did you succeed in sending the letter to the people from Guanghan Palace last time?" "No." Speaking of this matter, the three-star city lord's face was gloomy. He shook his head and said, "My friends of the Divine Tree Palace are unable to get close to the people from Guanghan Palace, and no one knows where they are hidden." Yao Daxiong frowned and said, "It's really strange. Our Yao family doesn't know where the people from Guanghan Palace are hidden." The three-star city lord said, "It was the palace master who invited the people of Guanghan Palace to the Divine Tree. Many of the secret rooms in the Divine Tree are controlled by the palace master. We can't go to the highest area." "Did the palace master hide them?" "This is difficult. The palace master rarely shows his face." Yao Daxiong sighed. "Let's do our best." The three-star city lord patted Yao Daxiong's shoulder. Suddenly, someone shouted from outside, "City Lord Elder Su and Elder Lu Yu seek an audience." The three-star city lord said, "Invite them in." Not long after, Elder Su and Elder Lu Yu arrived. They were both elders of the Divine Tree Palace. They had high positions and were also very strong. Now that something like this had happened, the first thing they did was to look for the three-star city lord. When they arrived and saw Yao Daxiong here, their expressions changed. Elder Su said angrily, "Three hands, what kind of city lord are you? You actually allowed others to kill people indiscriminately in the city." Hey, I didn't condone it. I just happened to go out at that time." The three-star city lord stood up and said angrily, "The reason why this happened was all because of you. What does it have to do with us?" "It was clearly Qin Yun who did it." Elder Su said angrily, "I lost a grandson." "Elder Su, you were the first to have designs on Liang Qinqian's martial spirit, right? I warned you before, the consequences of having designs on that immortal martial spirit are very serious." Yao Daxiong sneered and said, "As for Lu Yu Gufei, even if Qin Yun didn't kill him, I would have killed him." Yao Daxiong stood up, his tone furious as he spoke about how Lu Yu Gufei had acted against Yao Sisi, leaving Elder Lu Yu speechless. "Lu Yue Gufei colluded with a traitor of my Yao clan to harm my little granddaughter. I will make this matter public." Yao Daxiong said angrily to Elder Lu Yu, "Your Lu Yu clan? Don't be so arrogant. Don't think you're invincible in the ancient garden." The three-star city master sneered, "Willow Moon clan, you should reflect on your actions. From the moment Lu Yu, Su Gao, and the others were killed, it was you who provoked them first. Qin Yun is a very easy person to get along with. Look at him. He even gave me a very exquisite storage magic treasure." While mocking Elder Lu Yu and Elder Su, he did not forget to flaunt his storage Dharma treasure, which made Elder Lu Yu and Elder Su furious. "I don't care if our Lu Yu clan's people are in the wrong or not. In short, Qin Yun killed our Lu Yu clan's people and destroyed our Lu Yu pavilion. The one in the wrong is him." Elder Lu Yu finished speaking and left in anger. Elder Su had nothing else to say. He could only angrily leave the city master villa. When Yao Daxiong saw the two elders leave, he said with a sneer, "These two still don't know how powerful Qin Yun is. Old Yao Xiong, that little brother Qin is really strange. He single-handedly did so many great things. Even I admire him." The three-star city master said, "Isn't that so? This is simply a strange person." Yao Daxiong said, "I think the main thing is that the equipment in his hands is very strong." The three-star city master nodded and said, "That long and short stick in his hand is really too powerful. Furthermore, it can hide inside." Yao Daxiong said with a frown, "I suspect that little brother Qin might be a very brilliant inscription master. Teleportation talisman, storage magic treasure, and the powerful equipment in his hands were all refined by him." "I think so too." The three-star city master revealed a look of shock and said, "Looks like we have to think of a way to investigate little brother Qin's background. He must be an awesome person in the Immortal Desolate. There are many people from the Immortal Desolate who have been invited by the people of the 3 palaces and 6 sects. If we go and inquire, We should be able to find out, Yao Daxiong said with a smile. Leave it to me to investigate. There are often large ships from other sects coming and going from the three-star city. I'll ask them to help me investigate. The three-star city master said with a smile. Qin Yun succeeded in the three-star city and felt incomparably happy. He finally got rid of Liyue Gufei and young Master Su, the two fellows who were thinking about Liang Qin. Especially Liyue Gufei, Qin Yun hated him the most. The current Qin Yun is fearless because the people in the ancient garden are not as powerful as he imagined. Especially in terms of equipment, they are relatively backward. As long as he doesn't encounter a very strong expert or those powerful traps and formations, no one could do anything to him. I wonder how Sister Bingxing and the others are doing. Qin Yun is very worried because he feels that the matter of Bingxing and the others being invited to the Divine Tree Palace is not simple. The three-star city master and Yao Daxiong have not made any progress for so many days. Ling Yun'er said, Xiao Yun, I feel that there are people inside the Divine Tree Palace who want Sister Bingxing and the others to help with something. Furthermore, they want to do it secretly. Qin Yun's goal is the Sun Spirit. He doesn't know how to find the Sun Spirit, and the only possibility is to wait for Liyue Shuyin to come down. After Liyue Shuyin's moon martial spirit was carved with the moon totem, she flew up to the mysterious golden moon. If she could come down, she might be able to find out something. Many legends in the ancient garden are related to the mysterious golden moon, and the most popular legend is about the golden moon and the Sun Spirit. Even if I know where the Sun Spirit is, it won't be easy to obtain it, so I'll have to become stronger first. Qin Yun flew towards Black Xiong Town. Black Xiong Town had placed a bounty on him, and they even treated him as their #1 enemy. Therefore, the few big shots behind Black Xiong Town and the few young masters are Qin Yun's targets. Therefore, he must do something in Black Xiong Town to intimidate his enemies. These guys are used to being arrogant, and no one dares to provoke them here. If I suddenly go and torment them now, they won't know how to deal with me. Qin Yun sneered in his heart. Black Xiong Town is just ahead. The sky is about to brighten. After Qin Yun entered Black Xiong Town, he strolled on the streets. News of the three-star city has yet to reach here, so the defense here is very lax. After he killed Liu Gu, he immediately flew to Black Xiong Town. Although there are others rushing over, their speed is not as fast as his. This Black Xiong Town actually dares to place a bounty on me. It's fine if they place a bounty on me, but the silver crystal coins are so low. Qin Yun is currently standing on the top floor of a tall building. In Black Xiong Town, the taller the building, the higher the status of the boss. The building that Qin Yun is in is the tallest one. The boss is definitely one of those young masters. He took out the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon, stood in the middle of the building, and shot down. Boom! What he shot out was a cannonball refined from holy oil. The cannonball turned into a huge fireball that was incomparably hot. With an impact force, it charged down from the top, piercing through dozens of floors to the bottom, where it burned with intense flames. Qin Yun also landed from that hole. When he landed, he would go through every floor. He released his powerful mind power and took everything he saw. He took away many big cabinets in a short time. What annoyed him is that the big cabinets are very light, which means there are not many sacred Xian silver crystals and silver crystal coins in them. There are also old men at the Heaven Celestial stage in the building, but they don't see Qin Yun. Qin Yun landed from that hole, took away many big cabinets, and left smoothly. At this time, all the Heaven Celestial stage powerhouses in Black Xiong Town are alarmed, because in a short time, a building has been robbed. Qin Yun immediately went to another building and found that there is an old man at the Heaven Celestial stage guarding the top floor. Qin Yun, who is invisible, took out the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon and shot at that building. The holy oil fire cannonball is shot out. The scorching flames can quickly burn through the walls and fall into the building. Boom! Under the control of Qin Yun's mind power, the cannonball suddenly exploded. The holy oil inside the cannonball is completely ignited. The fierce golden holy fire is burning, and there is red lightning, which is the power of the flood dragon blood. I don't want to rob. I will just destroy your stupid building. Qin Yun sneered in his heart. The holy oil cannonball shot by the Nine Heavens Dragon Line cannon doesn't need to absorb the holy power of the sacred Xian silver crystals, so the cannon barrel won't heat up quickly, so he can fire many cannonballs in a row. The sky is getting darker and darker. Blackstone Town is in a mess. Many people are running away. They all know that Qin Yun is here. Blackstone Town has put a bounty on Qin Yun's head. Now that Qin Yun is here to seek revenge, Blackstone Town can't do anything about it. Boom, boom, boom. In the dark night, Blackstone Town is constantly rumbling. Sometimes there's a fire that rises to the sky, illuminating the sky. Inside Blackstone Town, many buildings were blasted apart. Golden sacred flames raged and spread throughout Blackstone Town. In a short period of time, more than 10 buildings are exploding. The fire is spreading rapidly, burning a large number of buildings. And those old men of the Heaven Celestial stage are like headless flies. They don't know where Qin Yun is. Along with the sound of explosions, the buildings are cracked by the golden fire. Blackstone Town is completely covered by the holy fire. Blackstone Town is covered by the holy fire. The people who were originally in Blackstone Town are now floating in the sky outside, feeling the terrifying holy fire and exclaiming. At this time, some people from the three-star city arrived. They came to pass on the news that Willow Moon Pavilion has been destroyed. But after arriving, they heard even more shocking news. Blackstone Town has been destroyed, and it was done by Qin Yun. Qin Yun tried to use the cannonballs to attack those old men of the Heaven Celestial stage, but he didn't succeed. After all, the Heaven Celestial stage is very strong. The old men of the Heaven Celestial stage are now very vigilant. Even if he used the cannonballs and a large number of sacred Xian silver crystals, it would be difficult to kill them. Qin Yun doesn't want to waste resources. After destroying and burning Blackstone Town, he shouted from afar, Blackstone Town looks down on me. Qin Yun, I will only offer a bounty of 10 million silver crystal coins. This is the price for looking down on me. After saying that, Qin Yun quickly retreated and flew to the two-star city. He wants to go to the War Immortal Academy to find Liang Qin and Yao Cece. And the people near Blackstone Town are suddenly boiling. Chapter 16:31. Sun Spirit Clue's Black, Dauntless Town had been destroyed by a single person. The celestial immortals guarding Black, Dauntless Town were helpless. They could only watch helplessly as Black, Dauntless Town was destroyed. All kinds of sensational events have happened one after another. The 5 cities around the Heaven Supporting Tree are all discussing this matter. 4-star cities and 5-star cities are not worried that Qin Yun will go there and cause trouble because there are restrictions on entering these cities. Lu Yu Clan and Divine Tree Palace elders are the most furious because Qin Yun has affected their interests and brought them great losses. Especially Lu Yu Clan. Their clansmen have been killed in public one after another, and they still haven't captured Qin Yun. It can be said that they have lost all their prestige. War Immortal Academy. Yao Cece and Liang Qin are inside a cultivation room. Their jade palms are tightly pressed together, and a piece of sacred mysterious silver crystal is placed behind them. They are absorbing the sacred power inside the sacred mysterious silver crystal and cultivating together. Sun and Moon Heart Sutra can not only be cultivated with men, it can also be cultivated with women, but it is not as fast as with men. After cultivating for a period of time, they also stopped. Progress is very fast. I wonder how little Qin and Sister Shuyan are doing now. Especially little Qin. He always does such scary things. Yao Cece said very worriedly, Don't worry about little Qin, he will be fine. Liang Qin said with smile, We should quickly become stronger. Only then can we stand out and smoothly become core disciples of Divine Tree Palace. Then we can obtain even more contribution points. Yao Cece slightly nodded and said, Sister Qin, little Qin has helped us a lot and let us step onto the path of saint cultivation. We can't let him down. Of course, Liang Qin said with smile. The sacred power inside the sacred mysterious silver crystals on their backs has been completely absorbed and turned into ordinary crystals. After exchanging for sacred mysterious silver crystals, they were just about to cultivate when they sensed an aura fluctuation. They are currently in the sky garden of Dinhe Shioji, inside the cultivation room of the pavilion in the garden. This place is very safe, but now they sense someone entering the cultivation room. Because Liang Qin's immortal martial spirit has a sacred fire totem, she knows her situation and is very vigilant. "Huh!" Qin Yin suddenly appeared and said with a smile, "Not bad. You know I'm approaching." "Little Qin." Liang Qin and Yao Cixi cried out in surprise. Their beautiful faces were filled with joy. Qin Yin came here quietly. Even he Shioji did not know that he was here. "I'm here. Let's cultivate together," Qin Yin said with a smile. "Where's Sister Shuyan?" Yao Cixi asked. "Shuyan? She went to Golden Moon. I don't know how she is now," Qin Yin said with frown. He was secretly annoyed that he did not give Lu Yu Shuyan a communication talisman. Otherwise, they might have been able to contact each other. "He went to the Golden Moon?" Liang Qin was surprised. "And she should be fine." Qin Yin is very worried about Lu Yu and Shuyan, because Lu Yu Shuyan gave him a very special feeling. This feeling is hard to describe. Liang Qin said, "Let's quickly cultivate together. Become stronger with formidable power. Everything will be fine." Yao Cixi said with smile, "Little Qin, you destroyed Black Xiong Town and still so easily cultivated together with us. You are truly something." Liang Qin also said with charming smile, "Those guys must have been jumping up and down everywhere to find you." Qin Yin laughed and said to Yao Cixi, "Cixi, what kind of immortal martial spirit do you have?" "Me? Earth martial spirit." Yao Cixi pouted and mumbled, "A very poor martial spirit. Not bad. I will help you modify it." Qin Yin took out the floating cloud divine needle and said with smile, "I will help you carve totem runes." "Ah, carve totem runes?" Yao Cixi opened her mouth in amazement and looked at Liang Qin. "Cixi, my sacred fire totem was made by Little Qin," Liang Qin said with smile. "Quickly cooperate with Little Qin. Let him help you." Yao Cixi is very excited and happy. She immediately released her immortal martial spirit. Qin Yin carved flower totem and tree totem on it, and then let Liang Qin teach her how to use them. Then Qin Yin took out a large piece of sacred Xian silver crystal and began cultivating together with the two women. With Qin Yin joining them, Yao Cixi and Liang Qin are very happy because this will allow them to cultivate even faster. Lu Yu Gufei was killed. Lu Yu Pavilion was destroyed. Young Master Su was also killed by Qin Yin, and then Black Xiong Town was burned down. This series of events caused all the major powers to increase the bounty on Qin Yin. The person behind Black Xiong Town has already increased the bounty to 100 million silver crystal coins. Lu Yu clan also offered 100 million. Su family offered 50 million. They all know that this is useless because Qin Yin is not that easy to capture. At most, it will only give Qin Yin some pressure. Now, many powerful celestial immortals want to obtain this bounty. They all use their connections to find Qin Yin. Many people guessed that Qin Yin is in War Immortal Academy. Therefore, War Immortal Academy students are very diligent during this period of time, searching everywhere for traces of Qin Yin. Everyone's guess is very accurate. Qin Yin is in War Immortal Academy, and he is cultivating with the two beauties. A large group of people outside are working hard to search for Qin Yin everywhere, but he is cultivating leisurely. If those people knew about this, they would definitely curse his mother in anger. Qin Yin has caused so many troubles, but he is still very safe, mainly because he is very capable, not to mention making friends with powerful people. Moreover, teleportation talismans are heaven-defying things that can allow him to escape in times of danger. Because he has caused so many troubles, Qin Yin planned to cultivate for a period of time. This will also allow things to calm down. At the same time, he can also wait for news from the Yao family and the 3-star City Lord. They are helping to contact the people from Moon Palace. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Qin Yin's cultivation is very smooth. He is already in the 6th level of the Golden Immortal Realm. What makes him a little distressed is that the consumption of sacred Xian silver crystals is too much, nearly 10 million sacred Xian silver crystals in a month. Because he can quickly break through, Hishioji helped Yao Cece produce a lot of sacred Xian silver crystals, 5 million genes. Qin Yun can already feel the shortage of sacred Xian silver crystals. Originally, he thought that with more than 10 million, it would be enough for him to use for a long time. However, as he cultivated, he realized that in the process of sacred cultivation, he needed to absorb a lot of sacred power. Just as he was thinking about how to get more sacred Xian silver crystals, his communication talisman suddenly vibrated. He, who is in the secret room, immediately stopped cultivating, told Yao Cece and Liang Qin to wait, then took out the communication talisman. Back then, he entrusted the Yao family to think of a way to give another communication talisman to Bing Xing. Now that the communication talisman has a reaction, it means that they have already done it. Qin Yun poured his mind into the communication talisman and felt that the consumption of mental power is relatively large. Using communication talisman in an ancient garden consumes a lot of mental power. Xiao Yun, Bing Xing's voice came. I heard about what happened outside. Are you safe now? Of course I'm safe. Qin Yun immediately replied. What about you? I heard that you were placed under house arrest. What happened? We're fine. We're at the top of this divine tree with the divine tree palace master. She's a very good old granny. Bing Xing said, by cultivating here, we can absorb a lot of Golden Moon's power. That kind of power is very beneficial to the disciples of our Guanghan Palace. That's good. Qin Yun finally felt relieved and asked, what's going on with the Golden Moon? It's a long story. Xiao Yun, the Divine Tree Palace Master, has clues about the Sun Soul. She wants to use clues to exchange with you. Bing Xing said, how do we exchange? Qin Yun knew that the boss of the 3 palaces and 6 sects definitely knew clues about the Sun Soul. She wants 100 passes. Bing Xing said, during this period of time, I had Ling Long, Feng Jin, and Yalan refine many passes. You only need to carve runes on them. All right, exchange with her. Qin Yun nodded. He also wanted to find the Sun Soul as soon as possible. I'll have Ling Long and the Divine Tree Palace Master look for you. Where are you? Bing Xing asked. Just let them come to the War Immortal Academy to find the Dean. Qin Yun said with a smile. Sister Bing Xing, I knew you wouldn't disappoint me. Thank you. You're welcome. Bing Xing's cold voice carried a hint of gentleness as she warned, you have to be careful. If you need help, contact me at any time. Qin Yun has been in the ancient garden for so long, he finally came into contact with clues about the Sun Soul. This was also achieved with the help of Bing Xing and the others. Got it. Qin Yun nodded and said, Sister Bing Xing, you must take advantage of this opportunity to fish for some sacred Xian silver crystals. Bing Xing said with a smile, don't worry, we took advantage of this opportunity to exchange a lot. It's just that it's a bit troublesome and not easy to bring back. I can refine storage magic tools. I'll teach Sister Ling Long and have her bring them back to you. Qin Yun said, that's great. However, can the storage magic tools you refined still be used in the Immortal Desolate? Bing Xing is somewhat worried about this. No problem. Qin Yun is very confident because it is a complete set of runes given to him by the Space God. It is common in the Immortal Desolate and Ancient Garden. After ending the contact, Qin Yun's face was full of smiles. Little Qin, what are you so happy about? Liang Qin asked. Good thing. With the help of the Yao family, I finally contacted my friends from the Guanghan Palace. Qin Yun said with a smile. That's great. Yao Cece said with a smile. Qin Yun was able to contact Bing Xing and even obtain clues about the Sun Soul. This made his mood extremely good. He did not cultivate and waited outside for Jianling Long and the Divine Tree Palace Master to arrive. Qin Yun, who is standing on the top of a tall building in the War Immortal Academy, waited from day to night. Suddenly, he saw a large white light ship that is several tens of meters long flying over from the distance. Hishioji is in the garden at the top of the building. Qin Yun told her that the Divine Tree Palace Master would come, so she is also waiting here. Liang Qin and Yao Cixi are very shocked because the divine tree palace master, who rarely shows his face, actually personally came to see Qin Yin. Chapter 1632. 1632 Chapter 1632 Divine Tree Palace Master. That large ship emitting white light is flying in the night sky. It is very dazzling. It must be known that one cannot fly above 2-star cities, let alone War Immortal Academy. Now that a ship emitting white light is flying towards the top of the Dean's building, it immediately attracted many people's attention. Because Qin Yun has a bounty on his head, and some people guess that Qin Yun is inside War Immortal Academy. Many spies in the vicinity are keeping an eye on War Immortal Academy. If there is even the slightest movement of grass in the wind, it will immediately alarm many spies. An old granny wearing white gown walked down from the large ship while leaning on a long staff. That long staff looks like it was casually cut out from a tree branch. Beside her is an extremely beautiful tall woman. She has a fair goose egg-shaped face, long braid hanging down her chest. She is very beautiful and moving. Her eyes are filled with gentleness. This woman is Jian Linglong. She is very tall, taller than the old granny by a lot. She is about the same height as the tall and big Qin Yin. Jian Linglong is also wearing a simple and unadorned white dress and a thick white gown. After she saw Qin Yun, her beautiful eyes flickered with tenderness, and she gently smiled at Qin Yun. Palace Master, you actually came in person. Is the matter very important? He Xiuji walked over with smile to welcome Divine Tree Palace Master. It can be seen that He Xiuji and Divine Tree Palace Master's relationship is very good. Liang Qin and Yao Cixi also hastily walked over and saluted Divine Tree Palace Master. Their hard work in War Immortal Academy is to enter Divine Tree Palace's upper echelon in the future and become an influential person in Divine Tree Palace. And Divine Tree Palace Master is a person they revere very much. Greetings, Divine Tree Palace Master. I am Qin Yun. Qin Yun walked over with smile and said. Divine Tree Palace Master's face is filled with gentle and benevolent smile. He greeted Qin Yun and others while chuckling. He does not have that kind of high and mighty attitude. He gives people a kind of amiable feeling. He Xiuji welcomed Divine Tree Palace Master and Jian Linglong into a hall. On the way, Jian Linglong asked Qin Yun some things. Liang Qin and Yao Cixi already knew that Qin Yun knows Guanghan Palace's people. When they saw Jian Linglong, they guessed that she is a disciple of Guanghan Palace. Jian Linglong's beauty caused them to exclaim endlessly in admiration in their hearts. She indeed has a kind of charm that stands out from the masses. Every frown and smile is very moving. Moreover, Jian Linglong's cultivation is also extremely high. She is a very powerful woman. Qin Yun had previously heard from Bing Xing that they could obtain great benefits from cultivating on top of the towering tree, allowing their cultivation to advance by leaps and bounds. And now that he sees Jian Linglong, he can feel that she is a lot stronger than before. Little Qin, Bing Xing should have told you about that matter before, right? Let's talk in secret. Palatial Master Vine Tree went straight to the point and discussed business. Soon after, He Xiuji arranged a secret room for Qin Yun, Jian Linglong, and Divine Tree Palace Master to discuss in secret. In the secret chamber, Qin Yun sat down and asked, Divine Tree Palace Master, I can give you 100 passes, but you have to guarantee that the Sun Soul clues you provide are useful. That's not a problem. I guarantee that my clues will let you know where the Sun Soul is, but I can't guarantee that you will be able to obtain it. That will depend on your own ability. The Divine Tree Palace Master laughed. As long as I know where the Sun Soul is, it's fine. Qin Yun nodded and said, Also, that clue can only let you find half of the Sun Soul. The Sun Soul is divided into 2 parts. I don't know where the other part is. Divine Tree Palace Master added. Qin Yun heard this kind of legend before. He did not expect it to be true. That mysterious Sun Soul is actually divided into 2 parts. Qin Yun said, I can't give you the pass immediately. It will take 3 days. Oh, you don't have the pass? Why do you need 3 days? Divine Tree Palace Master said doubtfully. I heard that you have a storage magic tool with a very large space. Divine Tree Palace Master also heard about the big trouble Qin Yun caused before. Because the pass is very important, I sealed it in a box. I need some time to open that box. Qin Yun explained. 3 days? All right. Divine Tree Palace Master nodded and said, maybe it won't take 3 days. Sister Linglong, help me. Qin Yun said to Jian Linglong. Jian Linglong nodded her head. All right, I won't disturb you. I'll go out for a walk, chat with Xiuji, and reminisce about old times. Divine Tree Palace Master said with smile. Jian Linglong sent off Divine Tree Palace Master and then closed the secret room's door. Sister Linglong, where's the pass you refined? You don't seem to have a storage magic tool, right? Qin Yun said. Regarding the matter of refining the pass, Jian Linglong and others also kept it secret. They did not let Divine Tree Palace Master know. Jian Linglong took off her outer clothes. She is only wearing a light pink undergarment and a pair of shorts, revealing a pair of perfect slender snow-white legs, as well as jade white and beautiful fragrant shoulders and collarbone. Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. He appreciates the tall and graceful beauty before him. It's on my clothes. Quickly take it off. Jian Linglong charmingly pouted and said, what are you looking at? You have seen so many beauties. I can't confuse you, right? You don't say my soul was almost taken away by you. Sister Linglong, you really don't regard me as an outsider, Qin Yun said with smile. My little brother Sect Master, why should I regard you as an outsider? We are all on the same side. Jian Linglong giggled and said. She extended her hand and gently caressed Qin Yun's handsome face, as if she is flirting with Qin Yun. Sister Linglong, since we are on the same side, don't tease me. Qin Yun gently grabbed her lily-white hand and said with smile. Jian Linglong charmingly chuckled. Then she opened the 2 white robes. Indeed, there are many command plates inside. Qin Yun took out the Gemini treasure mirror, then pinched the teleportation jade pendant and let it release very strong spatial power. The teleportation jade pendant is a very high-quality instant space sacred iron. The spatial power it released is very strong. This Gemini treasure mirror is very useful, Jian Linglong said with envy. Later I will look for Sister Kong and Yin Yin. Let them make more Gemini heavenly rune, then I can refine Gemini treasure mirror for you. Qin Yun said with smile. It seems like they have also been pulled into Inscription Gate by Yuan Mei. Jian Linglong said with smile. That's good. Qin Yun made the Gemini treasure mirror carve runes faster and faster. As his cultivation increases, his mental power becomes stronger and stronger. The blood spirit power he can release becomes stronger and stronger. Therefore, he can make the Gemini treasure mirror even faster. In less than half a day, more than 200 entry tokens have been completed. Qin Yun asked for 50. He also has several dozens in his hand. Jian Linglong still has nearly 200. After giving them to the 100 Divine Tree Palace Masters, they still have many more. They can exchange them for even more resources. Didn't you say it would take 3 days? Jian Linglong said with smile. I lied to her because I want to spend the rest of the time alone with Sister Linglong. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Sister Linglong, quickly wear your clothes. Jian Linglong pursed her lips and smiled. Xiao Yun, you want to spend time alone with me? Don't tell me you want me to help you refine some things? Then I won't wear clothes. It will be very hot. She is still wearing underwear and shorts. She is indeed not acting like an outsider. This is what she learned from Lan Fengjin. Lan Fengjin is even more revealing than her. Sister Linglong, I can refine storage magic tool here. I don't know if you can learn it in 3 days or not. Qin Yun said, Of course I can. Don't look down on me. Jian Linglong lightly stuck out her tongue and said with smile, Don't look down on me. You can refine one for me to see and then give me the runes you need. Materials are also very important. Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace and put in instant space immortal iron. Then he began explaining the key points of refining storage magic tool. He took out more than 10 instant space sacred pearls and gave them to Jian Linglong. Then he gave her a set of space runes and space totem runes. Then he instructed Jian Linglong to refine a storage jade pendant on the spot. Jian Linglong's talent in inscription and tool refining is very high. Back then she was a young and promising inscription master in the Jian family. This way, Qin Yun's instruction is very easy. Jian Linglong wrapped her braid around her slender, snow-white jade neck. She took the forging hammer and began forging very violently. Because she is using sacred flame, the temperature of the flame is very high. It is so hot that she is drenched in fragrant sweat. She wanted to take off her clothes several times, but because Qin Yun is here, she did not. Qin Yun is refining a storage bottle on the side. He filled it with sacred oil and asked Jian Linglong to take it back to refine. 2 days later, Jian Linglong successfully refined a red storage jade pendant. The space inside is exactly the same as the one Qin Yun refined. This made her feel very accomplished, as expected of my inscription gates sect master. Even in this kind of wretched place, you can still break through the bindings of space. Jian Linglong praised with smile. She still has not tried to refine teleportation talisman, but Qin Yun already explained the essentials. To her, it is a very simple matter. Qin Yun wiped the sweat off her jade-like face and said with smile, "You're sweating so much. Quickly go wash yourself." After speaking, he took out a very large bathtub and placed it in the middle of the secret room. Then he filled it with water and turned around. "Let's go together," Jian Linglong said with smile. Her body was suddenly enveloped by white light. After she took off her clothes, she walked into the jade tub and sat down. Qin Yun is somewhat bashful and did not plan to go down. However, Jian Linglong dragged him down and even asked him to condense some water to wash himself. Jian Linglong is also a very noisy woman. She played around with Qin Yun in all kinds of ways. After Qin Yun finished washing, he struggled free, changed his clothes, and said with smile, "Sister Linglong, remember to help me get some instant space immortal iron. I don't have much left." "Got it." Jian Linglong came out of the bathtub and asked Qin Yun to take out some clothes for her to wear. There are indeed many women's clothes inside Qin Yun's 9-son divine soul. They were left behind by Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingsheng. Although they are a bit short, Jian Linglong can barely wear them. Jian Linglong changed into a purple dress and said with smile, "These are definitely Qingsheng's clothes. I remember the fragrance on her body. You women's nose is really sensitive." Qin Yun curled his lips and said. He suddenly missed Zi Qingsheng, that sister's steam bun, as well as Shui Tianzi, that naturally charming water fairy. He put away the bathtub and tidied up the place. Then he asked Jian Linglong to call in Divine Tree Palace Master. Chapter 1633. Blossoming Opportunity. Qin Yun said with a smile, "Divine Tree Palace Master, can you give me the clue to the Sun Soul now?" All right. The Divine Tree Palace Master had clues to the Sun Soul. She did not look for it herself, most likely because it was very difficult to obtain the Sun Soul. Or perhaps, after she gave the clue to Qin Yun, she would look for it herself. But no matter what, as long as there was a clue, Qin Yun did not mind someone looking for it at the same time. After signing the soul contract, the Divine Tree Palace Master handed Qin Yun a stone and said, "Hold this stone tightly. The stone will emit light according to your heartbeat and guide you to find the other half of the Sun Soul." Divine Tree Palace Master, aren't you going to look for it yourself? Qin Yun asked. Of course I'll go too. Actually, the sect masters of the 3 palaces and 6 sects all have this kind of stone. It's just that the whereabouts of the half Sun Soul are erratic and have not been able to stabilize. The Divine Tree Palace Master said with a smile. Qin Yun sighed inwardly. The whereabouts of the Sun Soul was indeed not something he could enjoy alone. The Divine Tree Palace Master said in a low voice, "Little Qin, I heard that you have a teleportation talisman in your hands, right? Are you selling it?" Qin Yun said with a frown, "About this, I only have 2 left. I want to keep them for myself." Actually, he still had a lot of them. He deliberately said this to raise the price of the teleportation talisman. The Divine Tree Palace Master used a broken stone to exchange for 100 of his passes. He suddenly felt that he had suffered a loss. Then how much are you planning to sell it for? The Divine Tree Palace Master asked. She heard that Yao Daxiong and the Yao family's patriarch had them, but she did not know the exact price. Because He Xiuji had said that Qin Yun had given them to Yao Daxiong and the others. Qin Yun said, I used teleportation talismans to give to people. The seniors of the Yao family helped me before, so I gave them to them. Then is there anything you need my help with? You have a lot of trouble right now. I can help you. The Divine Tree Palace Master said. Palace Master, if you help me a lot, I'll give you both talismans. Qin Yun said with a smile. Tell me about it. The Divine Tree Palace Master said, if it's something like exterminating the Willow Moon clan, then I won't be able to do it. It's also very difficult for me to do it. You should know that. Qin Yun nodded and said, I know. I won't let you destroy them. I just want you to give me a special permit to allow me and my people to freely enter and exit 4-star cities and 5-star cities. No problem, that's easy. Anything else? The Divine Tree Palace Lord said, straightforwardly. Qin Yun knew that the strict restrictions on entering a 4- or 5-star city were nothing in front of the Divine Tree Palatial Lord. Also, I'm a bit short on money. I need 5 million kilograms of profound Saint Silver Crystal and 100,000 instant space immortal iron. After Qin Yun finished speaking, he immediately took out a blue crystal flower and said with a smile, Divine Tree Palace Master, this storage magic tool is for you. I almost forgot. The Divine Tree Palace Master took the beautiful blue crystal flower. After seeing the space inside, his face was full of joy. He smiled and said, Don't say 10 million. I'll even give you 20 million. It's a deal. Qin Yun took out 2 teleportation talismans and handed them over to the Divine Tree Palace Master. Then he told her how to use them. The Divine Tree Palace Master took out 20 very large cubic crystals. One of them is 1,000,000 kilograms of profound Saint Silver Crystal. Qin Yun accepted them one by one. As for the 100,000 kilograms of instant space immortal iron, she will deliver it here later. It was even easier to enter the 4- and 5-star cities. She directly gave Qin Yun a very special wooden token. It is called Divine Tree Token. It is said that as long as one holds this token, they can walk unhindered in the important cities of the Divine Tree Palace. Qin Yun and the Divine Tree Palace Master are chatting and laughing as they walked out of the secret room. Jian Linglong wants to go back and refine those things with Lan Fengjin and Xiang Yalan. And Qin Yun can go to 5-star cities in the future. It means that he can get close to the Divine Tree. The Divine Tree Palace Master and Jian Linglong boarded the large ship and flew towards the heaven supporting tree. Soon after, Qin Yun said to He Xiuji with smile, Dean, help me thank Senior Yao and the others. Give this to them. Qin Yun took out 10 entry tokens and handed them over to He Xiuji. He Xiuji very excitedly received the 10 entry tokens. This is something that can allow them to leave the Ancient Era's Garden. It is also something that many experts in the Ancient Era's Garden yearn for even in their dreams. Yao Cixi and Liang Qin from the side know that these are Ancient Era's Garden entry tokens. They are very astonished that Qin Yun has so many. Qin Yun said, Dean, if your Yao family wants to leave the Ancient Era's Garden, you will need a large number of entry tokens. I don't have that many. I know. He Xiuji sighed. If we can leave with 10 people, we will be very satisfied. I have a way to let all of you leave. Qin Yun said, I have a kind of storage magic tool that can carry people out. Even if you go to Immortal Desolate, you can use it. You can use that kind of storage magic treasure to bring him out. This kind of storage magic tool is very expensive. He Xiuji said anxiously. Actually, I am an inscription master. Those storage magic tools were refined by me. They are indeed very expensive. The main thing is that I need a lot of materials to refine them. I don't have that many materials. Also, I need a large amount of sacred Xian silver crystals. If you need them, you can give me the materials and I will help you refine them. Then you can give me a bit of compensation. Qin Yun said again. There are a lot of sacred Xian silver crystals in the ancient Era's garden. Qinyan wants to take advantage of this opportunity to fish some more. It will be very helpful to his cultivation and tool refining in the future. Sacred Xian silver crystals? That's easy. I will discuss it with Old Ancestor and the others. Hishioji said with smile. She can guess that Qinyan must have given many entry tokens and storage magic tools to the Divine Tree Palace Master in exchange for a large amount of resources. Qinyan said, "Then I will stay here for a few days and wait for your good news." Soon after, he pulled Liang Qin and Yao Cixi into the cultivation room to cultivate. Hishioji is also very excited now. She immediately went to find Yao Daxiong to discuss this matter. Yao Daxiong is also in the forbidden area of the War Immortal Academy. When he saw the light flashing on top of Hishioji's building, he immediately flew over, because that is the signal Hishioji sent him, saying that there's an urgent matter. Yao Daxiong arrived at the top of the building and chatted with Hishioji in her room. According to the information 3 hands have gathered, Little Qin is an incredible person in the Immortal Desolate. Yao Daxiong said with emotion. "Ah, is that so? How incredible?" Hishioji promptly asked. "He is a very powerful inscription mysterious sect. In short, he is a very awesome inscription master. The reason why many people can enter the Immortal Desolate is because they bought entry tokens from him," Yao Daxiong said. "It must be known that people who entered the ancient Era's garden from the Immortal Desolate are very clear about how powerful Qinyan is. Therefore, as long as they ask people who entered from the Immortal Desolate, they would immediately know about this matter." 3-star city lords also inquired about this matter. Soon after, Yao Daxiong also told them about Qinyan's various world-shaking deeds in the Immortal Desolate, causing Hishioji to exclaim in shock again and again. Hishioji and Yao Daxiong looked at the 10 entry tokens on the table and sank into deep emotion. "We are really lucky," Yao Daxiong said with smile. "No matter how many sacred mysterious silver crystals Little Qin wants, we will give them to him. We will try our best to exchange for 10 storage magic treasures that can carry people out. That way, we will be able to bring our Yao family out." Hishioji nodded and said, "This way, our Yao family won't have to stay in the Divine Tree Palace all day and do some bullshit things. I'm already sick of it," Yao Daxiong said with smile. "It is also thanks to that little girl Cixi getting in touch with her. Otherwise, we would have missed this kind of opportunity. That's right. She is worthy of being our granddaughter. Quickly go back and tell the Old Ancestor and the others. This requires a large amount of sacred mysterious silver crystals. We can't make the decision," Hishioji said. "And I will go back now. You stay here and protect Little Qin." Yao Daxiong immediately set off. Qinyan is in the cultivation room. He gave Yao Cixi and Liang Qin each an entry token. To him, the passage token could be refined at any time. It was not some rare thing. He also promised Liang Qin that he will sell entry tokens and storage magic treasures to the Liang family. At that time, he will be able to make a fortune. Qinyan is currently at the 6th level of the Golden Immortal stage. He feels that he is not strong enough. If he were to fight for the Sun Soul, he would need to have the strength of a heavenly immortal to be able to deal with everything. Cultivating together with Liang Qin and Yao Cixi would allow Qinyan to quickly increase his cultivation, so he treated these 2 girls very well. After cultivating for a day, Qinyan took out the stone and held it tightly in his hand. He sensed the location of the Sun Soul. What made him depressed was that he knew the location of the Sun Soul, but its location was erratic. Sometimes it was in the east, sometimes it was in the west. The east, west, north, and south directions changed back and forth. Sometimes it would change every few moments, and sometimes it would change every 4 to 6 hours. He suddenly understood why the people in the ancient gardens were unable to find the Sun Soul even after so many years. It was because it was indeed very difficult to find. The Divine Tree Palace Master had said before that the half of the Sun Soul would sometimes not move for an entire day, so there was still a chance. Now, he was getting closer and closer to obtaining the half of the Sun Soul. However, Qin Yin was very calm because he needed to increase his cultivation and become stronger. This won't do. I have to quickly find that little girl you may and capture her to cultivate with me. Qin Yun was currently at the 6th level of the Golden Immortal stage. Even with Liang Qin and Yao Cixi accompanying him in his cultivation, his speed of improvement was still very slow. The amount of sacred mysterious silver crystals consumed was the same, but if there was another woman who joined in to cultivate the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, the increase would be even greater. At night, the light emitted by the towering tree in the distance suddenly changed greatly. The leaves on the tree suddenly emitted a blue glow, and there were also many pink dots of light interspersed between the leaves. "It's blooming," Yao Cixi shouted happily. "Little Qin, the divine book is blooming. It's about to bear fruit." Liang Qin also looked at the divine tree in the distance and exclaimed, "When the divine tree blooms, the pollen that falls down can allow one to advance by leaps and bounds." Yao Cixi sighed with some melancholy. "What a pity! Only in the 4- and 5-star cities can we feel this kind of benefit." "I'll take you to the 5-star city," Qin Yin said. He had to quickly increase his cultivation. The stage of the divine trees blossoming and bearing fruit was very fast. It might only take 10 days or so to complete. Chapter 1634. The King of Divine Fruits. When Yao Cixi and Liang Qin heard that Qin Yun wanted to bring them into 5-star city, they were very alarmed. This was because those who could enter a 5-star city had accumulated a lot of contribution points. They were either the elites of the Divine Tree Palace or the elites of the 3 palaces and 6 sects. But they didn't have any contribution points now, so it was impossible for them to enter a 5-star city. However, since Qin Yin said that he would bring them in, it meant that they would definitely be able to enter. They knew that Qin Yin had made a deal with the Divine Tree Palatial Lord. He definitely had a special way to enter. "Little Qin, when are we setting off?" Yao Cixi asked excitedly as she shook Qin Yun's arm. "Let's wait for your grandfather to come back first. He should be back soon," Qin Yun said with a smile. "I will go to 5-star city after discussing with your Yao family." Qin Yun does not know where Xiao Yuanmei is now. According to the soul-chasing talisman's probing direction, Xiao Yuanmei is not in the direction of the 5-star cities or 4-star cities. After Qin Yun waited for 2 days, Yao Daxiong returned from Yao family. The Yao family's old ancestor agreed to give Qin Yun a large amount of sacred mystic silver crystals as long as the entire Yao family can migrate to the immortal desolate. In the ancient garden, one could not enter the starry sky, nor could one go to the immortal desolate. Furthermore, one's power was always restricted to the heavenly immortal realm. It was like a cage. As long as they could leave this place, a large family like the Yao family would definitely be willing to pay a large amount of profound Saint Silver crystals. Qin Yin doesn't want too many sacred mystic silver crystals. He only wants 200 million. Yao family must have stored a lot of sacred mysterious silver crystals, but when they go to Immortal Desolate in the future, they will need a lot of them because there are no more sacred mysterious silver crystals in Immortal Desolate. Yao Daxiong felt that 200 million was not too much, so he readily agreed. Now, he was waiting for Qin Yin to refine those storage magic treasures for them. He wasn't in a hurry, so Qin Yin didn't refine it. Instead, he brought Yao Cixi and Liang Qin to 5-star city. The flowers in the 5-star city were blooming more and more, bigger and bigger. Yao Daxiong and He Xiuji had said that after 7 days of blooming, some of the petals would start to fall, and after another 7 days, they would start to bear fruit, and after 7 days, they would mature. Furthermore, there weren't a lot of god fruits, and not all god fruits are the same. However, it would bear the king of the divine fruit, and the king was the most important divine fruit. He Xiuji also said that although the fruit king had appeared many times over the years, the number of people who had obtained it was very few. This was because the divine tree was huge and the fruit king was hidden very well. If they couldn't find a fruit king in a short period of time, the fruit king would be absorbed by the divine tree. Although someone had obtained the king of god fruits before, That person did not describe what the king of god fruits looked like. Qin also wants to find the divine fruit king, so he needs to understand more about it. Therefore, he decided to have a chat with the divine tree palace lord again. Qin Yun and Liang Qin sat in Yao Cici's boat and flew towards Five-Star City. Little Qin, can we really enter the Five-Star City? Yao Cici still couldn't believe it, and her delicate and pretty face was full of anticipation. Cici, we can definitely go in. Who is little Qin? How could his words be false? Liang Qin looked at Yao Cici's charming face and couldn't help but lean over to kiss her cheek. Yao Cici said with charming smile, "That's great. The divine tree just happened to bloom, and we can enter Five-Star City. When the time comes, I must pick up a lot of flower petals." Yao Cici is a woman who loves flowers very much. The flowers in Yao Daxiong's courtyard and Hishoji's tall building were all planted by Yao Cici. After her earth martial spirit was carved with flower totem and tree totem by Qin Yun, she became very happy. Because it allowed her to release flower immortal power and tree immortal power, it allowed her to better plant flowers and trees. 14 hours later, Yao Cici's boat finally arrived in front of Five-Star City's gate. Five-Star City is not a 3 or 2-star city. The entire Five-Star City is very large. The city walls are very tall and sturdy. Moreover, it is also protected by a very powerful barrier. It is said that the divine tree's huge crown forms a natural barrier that can protect Five-Star City. It also produces a kind of power that makes it difficult for the people inside the city to fly high. Entering Five-Star City is very strict, especially at this stage. The matter of the divine tree blooming will definitely spread throughout the entire ancient garden. Those from the 3 palaces and 6 sects who are qualified to enter Five-Star City will all gather here, waiting for the flower to bloom and bear fruit. And at this time, Five-Star City also charges a high entrance fee, 1 million silver crystal coins per person. Qin Yun suddenly felt that the Divine Tree Palace would definitely be able to make a lot of silver crystal coins. He secretly blamed himself. He should have asked the Divine Tree Palace Master to give him more sacred, profound silver crystals. Now, there are many people entering Five-Star City, waiting in line for the examination. When Qin Yun and company lined up, they discovered that the people entering the city have extremely high cultivation levels. Most of them are at the 8th or 9th level of the Golden Immortal Realm. The rest are Heaven Immortals. They're all elite experts from the various large sects of the Ancient Garden. One must know that the people lining up here not only have high cultivation levels, they also have a special jade token in their hands, on which their contribution points are recorded. Yao Cici and Liang Qin are a little nervous because their cultivation is only at the 7th level of the Golden Immortal Realm, and they're still very young, so they don't have any contribution points. Yao Cici and Liang Qin are both wearing the War Immortal Academy's white tight-fitting battle attire. Their faces are covered with masks. Qin Yun has changed his appearance. He looks like a bearded middle-aged man. His eyebrows are very thick, and he is wearing black bee skin clothes. He also deliberately made a big belly. When it is almost their turn, when they are about to enter the city, a Heaven Immortal guard shouted coldly, "All of you, take off your masks." Many people hurriedly took off their masks. After Yao Cici and Liang Qin took off their masks, their delicate and young, extremely beautiful faces were revealed. It also attracted many people's attention. They look very young, and their cultivation levels are not high, but they are lining up to enter the city. This immediately attracted many people's disdain. They are from the War Immortal Academy, right? Yes, they are from the War Immortal Academy. I can recognize their battle attire. They are just students of the War Immortal Academy. They can enter Five-Star City. Don't tell me they want to sneak in. How can it be so easy? Could it be that they are disciples of some large family? Even if they are disciples of large family, they can't break the rules. Who doesn't know that many disciples of large family have to obediently earn contribution points outside? Only after they earn enough can they enter Five-Star City. Qin Yun has the Divine Tree Command. He can only enter Divine Tree Palace's Five-Star City. He can't go to other sects' Five-Star City. Hearing these people's words, he is very clear that it is indeed very difficult to enter Five-Star City. For example, Willow Yugufe cannot enter 5-star city. Isn't that girl Yao Cece? Yao Daxiong's granddaughter, a guard said. The guards here were all experts with extremely high cultivation. Some of them were even professional spies. It is not strange that some of them know Yao Cece. Yao Cece can actually enter 5-star city? A guard said doubtfully. It seems like she has not become a core disciple of Divine Tree Palace. Her contribution points are definitely not many. Yao Cece suddenly became very nervous, but she saw that Qin Yun is very calm and relaxed. She secretly relaxed. Liang Qin's face is cold. She did not show any good expression to the people nearby. Suddenly someone shouted, "Elder Su is here." Elder Su is one of the elders of Divine Tree Palace, and his reputation is not small. Especially after his grandson was killed by Qin Yun. The Su family placed a bounty of 50 million silver crystal coins on Qin Yun and then increased it to 100 million. This matter caused a great commotion. Elder Su also wants to enter the city. He walked down from the large ship and stopped it under the city wall outside and directly walked towards the gate. He has to go through the gate to enter the city, and like everyone else, he has to show the special jade token. Of course, he directly cut the line. After all, he is an elder of Divine Tree Palace. No one would dare to say anything about cutting the line. Elder Su's old face is full of wrinkles. He looks gloomy and he has a sullen expression. At this moment, Qin Yun is also under the huge city gate. After entering the city gate, he can sense a very powerful aura. Among the people guarding the gate, there are big men and old men. All of them are incorruptible and their auras are extremely strong. Even when facing Elder Su, they did not reveal the slightest smile. After Elder Su walked over, he saw Yao Cece and said with a frown, "Is this Yao Daxiong's little girl? I heard that your father and brother were killed, and it was Qin Yun who killed them, right?" "Humph! Who doesn't know that they're traitors who colluded with the Liu Yu clan to assassinate me?" Yao Cece coldly snorted. This matter is indeed known by many people. Elder Su did not recognize Qin Yun because he never thought that Qin Yun could enter 5-star city. Elder Su carefully looked at Yao Cece and said with some surprise, "I remember that you were only in the 3rd level of Golden Immortal stage before. Not long after, you are already in the 7th level of Golden Immortal stage? I have extraordinary talent and break through very quickly. Is that not enough?" Yao Cece is very disgusted with this Elder Su because she knows that the Su family wants to obtain Liang Qin's immortal martial spirit. "Little girl, you definitely know where Qin Yun is. As long as you tell me where Qin Yun is, I will give you 50 million silver crystal coins." Elder Su chuckled and said, he was only joking. He is also very puzzled in his heart why Yao Cece is qualified to enter 5-star city. Everyone is immediately shocked and looked at Yao Cece. Everyone knows that Qin Yun has a bounty on his head, and it is very likely that he is hiding in War Immortal Academy. Yao Cece is from War Immortal Academy. Qin Yun promptly sent a sound transmission to Yao Cece, telling her to agree to Elder Su's request. Yao Cece promptly replied, "All right, let's sign a soul contract first. If you agree to give me 50 million silver crystal coins, I will tell you where Qin Yun is. I'm often together with him." "Really?" Elder Su is somewhat surprised. "You want to betray him? Could it be that he is really in War Immortal Academy?" "If he is in War Immortal Academy, even if I know, it will be useless. He is not in War Immortal Academy," Yao Cece said. "As long as you give me 50 million silver crystal coins, I will immediately tell you." Everyone and Elder Su believe that Yao Cece's eyes have been opened by wealth, and that is why she betrayed Qin Yun. After all, 50 million silver crystal coins is a very large amount of wealth for a little girl. "All right, then let's sign the soul contract." Elder Su is very excited and promptly signed a soul contract with Yao Cece. Because he does not have 50 million silver crystal coins, he temporarily did not give it to her and promised to give it to her within 3 days. Yao Cece pointed at Qin Yun, who was in front of her, and said with a smile, "Elder Su, Qin Yun is in front of me." Chapter 16:35. Five-star city elder Su looked at the bearded middle-aged man in front of Yao Cece. Hearing that familiar voice, he immediately knew that it is Qin Yun. Qin Yun is actually lining up here. This immediately caused a large group of people to scatter, because wherever Qin Yun is, there might be a great battle. After Elder Su recognized Qin Yun, he became so angry that his old face wrinkled and trembled. His pair of gloomy old eyes are filled with ruthlessness and killing intent. Elder Su's immortal power suddenly burst out. Just as he was about to attack, he heard a middle-aged man shout coldly, "Fighting is not allowed at Five-Star City Gate." Elder Su, you should be clearer than us about the strict rules of Five-Star City. Don't make things difficult for us. These city gate guards are all very strong, celestial immortals. Their rewards are also very high. They have contribution points and other things. In order to get this job, they signed a soul contract and will strictly follow the rules. Qin Yun also dared to come here because he saw Five-Star City Gate. This way, Yao Cece will be able to get 50 million silver crystal coins from Elder Su. Qin Yun, my grandson was not beaten to a pulp. He was burned to death. Elder Su furiously said. Oh, then I remembered wrongly. I killed a lot of people recently. That's why I remembered wrongly, Qin Yun said with a smile on his face. The people who want to enter Five-Star City are all elites from various big five-star cities. They just arrived near Divine Tree Palace and heard about Qin Yun's matter. At that time, they only sighed at Qin Yun's ability to cause trouble. Now that they see that Qin Yun's cultivation is not high, but he dares to be so calm in front of Elder Su, many people are filled with admiration. Elder Su is so angry that he can't stop gasping for breath. He tightly clenched his fists. Immortal power burst out and gave rise to a gale that blew all around. You can also enter the city? Elder Su gritted his teeth and said in deep voice, You just entered the ancient garden not long ago. How can you obtain so many contribution points? After he finished speaking, he looked at the few old men guarding the gate and said again, If Qin Yun can't enter the city, what will happen? He can't enter the city. We will naturally keep him away from the city gate. A big man said coldly, If he deliberately came here to cause trouble, we will not let him go. Elder Su, you have wasted a lot of our time. Many people are waiting to enter the city. Qin Yun urged, Don't cause trouble here. Hurry up and leave. Elder Su said coldly, I'm not leaving. I want to see how you're going to enter the city. As he spoke, he walked to the side. Originally, there were 2 or 3 people lined up in front of Qin Yun, but after they knew his identity, they immediately dispersed. They were worried that they would be affected by the battle. The burly man in charge of entering the city shouted to Qin Yun, It's your turn. Qin Yun whispered to Yao Cece and Liang Qin behind him, Follow me. Yao Cece and Liang Qin were very calm because they were very confident in Qin Yun. After Qin Yun walked over, he took out the Divine Tree token. Seeing the token in his hand, many people laughed. A wooden plate, huh? This guy really doesn't have a jade token to enter the city. What nonsense. He's dead for sure. Elder Su will definitely kill him, right? Great, we can actually witness Qin Yun being killed by Elder Su with our own eyes. Everyone burst into laughter. Because the tokens to enter the Five-Star City were all jade tokens, it was easy to tell whether it was real or fake. Elder Su laughed sinisterly. Qin Yun, you've been causing trouble for so long. You must be very tired, right? I will let you sleep forever. The immortal power on his body emitted a sinister and vicious aura, causing the hair of the surrounding people to stand on end. The burly man guarding the gate frowned. At this moment, the other burly men and old men all walked over. It's Divine Tree Token. An old man shouted in shock and then looked at Qin Yun, dumbstruck. That's right, this is the Divine Tree Token. Qin Yun smiled and said, I have the Divine Tree Token. Can I bring my friends in? Of course you can. The old man was still very shocked and quickly said. The expressions of the other middle-aged men also eased up a lot. When they looked at Qin Yun, they all had a bit of respect on their faces. Elder Su was stunned. Of course he knew what the Divine Tree Token was, but he never expected Qin Yun to have it. The Divine Tree Token is the supreme token of the Divine Tree Palace Master. Those who possess this token can freely enter and exit 5-star cities and 4-star cities. Someone in the crowd said in shock, "There's only one Divine Tree Token. Why is it in your hands?" Elder Sue shouted loudly, "That must be a fake Divine Tree Token." The old man guarding the gate shook his head and said, "It's true. When we signed the soul contract, a wisp of our soul was inside the Divine Tree Token." The middle-aged man held the Divine Tree Token with both hands and respectfully handed it over to Qin Yun. Furthermore, he opened up a path for Qin Yun to enter the city. Qin Yun took the Divine Tree Token, glanced at Elder Su, and snorted coldly. Then, he pulled Liang Qin and Yao Cixi and swaggered into the city gate. This caused everyone to be extremely jealous because many people desperately completed missions to accumulate contribution points. It took them many years of hard work to accumulate enough contribution points to enter a 5-star city. And with the Divine Tree Token in Qin Yun's hands, he could easily bring the two beauties into the city. The Divine Tree Palace Master's Divine Tree Token has great privileges. Bringing a few people is a small matter. Those so-called strict rules were only for others and could not restrict the master of the Divine Tree Palace. Elder Su was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He thought that he would be able to kill Qin Yun today. "Elder Su, you owe me 50 million silver crystal coins. Send it to me within 3 days. Yao Cixi said with a charming smile. "I will wait for you at the Heaven Gathering Pavilion in the 5-star city." There is a very famous Heaven Gathering Pavilion in the Divine Tree Palace. Although Yao Cixi has never been there, she has heard of it. Elder Su angrily stomped his feet and entered the 5-star city. After entering, he didn't dare to act recklessly or he would die. The Divine Tree Token in Qin Yun's hands must have been given to him by the Divine Tree Palace Master. If Elder Su killed Qin Yun here, his entire Su family would be wiped out. This 5-star city is indeed different from the masses. After Qin Yun entered, he indeed sensed a strange divine power, but it was very weak. That divine tree made him even more curious. Not long after, with Yao Cixi asking for directions, they quickly arrived at the Heaven Gathering Pavilion and asked for a luxurious suite. The Heaven Gathering Pavilion has several hundred floors. It is very tall, and each floor is very large. The entire building is white, shaped like a white jade spear pointing towards the sky. The Heaven Gathering Pavilion is the tallest building in the 5-star city. Compared to the towering tree, it seems incomparably small. Qin Yun and Company's suite is on the 100th floor. There is a balcony outside the small hall that allows one to directly see the roots of the towering tree. Looking over, the roots of the tree are like an incomparably huge mountain. The surface of the tree is covered with many green trees. Looking up, one can see that the surface of the incomparably thick tree trunk is covered with a layer of frost. It is unknown whether it is very cold or not. This is the divine tree of the Divine Tree Palace. It's so big. Yao Cixi came to Qin Yun's side and looked at the huge tree trunk. She said, "It will definitely take a long time to go around the tree trunk." Liang Qin propped up her fragrant cheeks and leaned on the balcony. She opened her beautiful eyes wide and looked at the divine tree. She said, "It is daytime now. If it was nighttime, we would be able to see a very bright light. At night, the divine tree would release a cold white light. Sometimes it would also change into other colors of light. We can't fly in the 5-star city." Yao Cixi sighed and said, "In that case, we can only wait for the petals to fall down and then snatch them. We can't fight in the city. If the petals and divine fruits fall down, wouldn't there be a fight?" Liang Qin doubtfully looked at Yao Cixi and asked, "When the time comes, how will we get the petals?" Yao Cixi said, "My grandfather and grandmother said that it all depends on luck. If you can pick it up, it will be yours. If you fight in the 5-star city, a lot of contribution points will be deducted." They tried on the balcony, but they can't fly. Qin Yun has seen this kind of flying restriction power many times. This made him think of those divine mountains and holy lands in the immortal desolate. They all restricted flying. The power released by the divine tree is similar to those divine mountains and holy lands. Could it be that this divine tree is a type of sun divine stone? Qin Yun thought. Xiao Yun, go and try using the floating rune ability. Ling Yun said with a smile. If you can fly up and get those petals. Qin Yun secretly gave it a try and felt that his body could float. This meant that his flight was not restricted. Great, wait a bit, I'll fly up and take a look. Qin Yun felt that the petals only fell when they withered. Even if the petals were useful, the energy contained inside would definitely not be as much as it is now. In just a short half a day, many people knew that Qin Yun had come to the 5-star city. Furthermore, he held a divine tree token and brought 2 beauties with him. This matter also caused a great sensation in the 5-star city, because very few people had the privilege to enter the 5-star city. The divine tree token could only enter the divine tree palace's 5-star city, so people from other 5-star cities could not say anything. They also knew that Qin Yun was in the Heaven Gathering Pavilion, but no one dared to act recklessly in the Heaven Gathering Pavilion. It is said that the Heaven Gathering Pavilion belongs to the Divine Tree Palace Master. Let's go back to our room and rest first. Elder Su should be delivering the silver crystal coins soon. Qin Yun said with a smile. I want to look at those flowers here. Yao Cece took out a recliner and lied down on the balcony. She can directly see the flowers on the huge branches high in the sky. I want to accompany Cece to look at the flowers, Liang Qin said with a smile. Then, she squeezed onto Yao Cece's recliner. The two of them playfully hugged each other and admired the flowers of the divine tree together. Qin Yun returned to his room and took out the communication talisman to contact Bing Xing, Sister Bing Xing. I'm in the 5-star city. Qin Yun said, I'm right under the divine tree. Is it convenient for you to come down? Because he is currently contacting Bing Xing at a close distance, the consumption of communication talisman is not that great. It's not convenient for me to go down now. I can't leave the divine tree. Bing Xing said. Why? Qin Yun asked. Chapter 1636. Divine Beehive. Chapter 1636. Divine Beehive. Qin Yun is secretly amazed and asked again, is there any benefit in that place? Yes, I can absorb a large amount of divine power. Bing Xing said. Also, I can absorb the power of the golden moon. In short, it's very strange. It can make me stronger. Then can you let Divine Tree Palace Master find me? I'm in the Heaven Gathering Pavilion. Qin Yun asked. Of course I can. Only Divine Tree Palace Master is nearby. I can call her. Bing Xing said. Qin Yun patiently waited for a while. Bing Xing contacted Qin Yun with a communication talisman and said that Divine Tree Palace Master would go to the Heaven Gathering Pavilion to find him. Qin Yun told Bing Xing to cultivate in peace. She must seize the opportunity to become stronger. After leaving the ancient garden, she would not need to fear the evil powers of the devil immortal heavenly gate. What surprised him is that Divine Tree Palace Master arrived very quickly. Half an hour after he finished contacting Bing Xing, he heard someone knocking on the door. After he opened the door, he saw Divine Tree Palace Master standing outside with a benevolent smile. Palace Master Granny, you came so quickly. Qin Yun chuckled. Divine Tree Palace Master said with a smile. You brat, you came to 5-star city so quickly. When you entered the city, you even made Elder Su look so bad. Greetings, Palace Master. Yao Cece and Liang Qin promptly walked from the balcony to the living room and greeted politely. Greetings, young ladies. Divine Tree Palace Master said with a smile. After greeting, they tactfully entered the room and did not disturb the conversation between Qin Yun and Divine Tree Palace Master. Palace Master Granny, I heard that the Divine Tree can bear that Divine Fruit King. How can I find this thing? Qin Yun asked. Brat, why are you so impatient? It has only just bloomed. Whether or not it will go smoothly is still unknown. Divine Tree Palace Master shook his head and said with a smile. What if it goes smoothly? Qin Yun asked. Even if it goes smoothly, I don't know where the Divine Fruit King is. This is a mystery. If I knew, the Divine Fruit King would have fallen into my hands many times over the years. Divine Tree Palace Master shook his head. Qin Yin can also see that this Divine Tree Palace Master truly doesn't know. Little Qin, there's no result. This matter hasn't been decided yet. The Divine Tree Palace Master said, don't look forward to it too much. Why wouldn't there be any results? Asked Qin Yin. If the Divine Bee doesn't appear to pollinate, there won't be any fruit. The Divine Tree Palace Master walked to the balcony and looked at the flowers in the sky. He said, this tree is very different. It needs the cooperation of the Divine Bee to bear fruit. Qin Yin was looking forward to the taste of the divine fruit. If he could collect some for Mo to eat, she would definitely be very happy. What's a divine bee? Was it very powerful? How can I appear? Qin Yin also walked to the balcony and asked. The divine bee is hiding in the divine tree. In the higher parts of the divine tree, there are some tree holes, which are the residences of the divine bees. However, I haven't seen any divine bees in all these years. The Divine Tree Palace Master shook his head and sighed. This time, there might not be any results. Qin Yin said, then I'll go look for the divine bee. Can I take a stroll on the divine tree? Of course. Do you want me to bring you there? Or do you want to climb up yourself? Said the Divine Tree Palace Lord with a smile. How about this? You bring Sister Qin and Cece up for a walk. I'll go up myself. Qin Yin said, all right, if you find the divine bee, remember to let Bing Xing tell me. The Divine Tree Palace Master said with a smile. Palace Master Grandma, this is for you. Qin Yin took out a communication talisman and handed it over to the Divine Tree Palace Master. In Qin Yin's eyes, the Divine Tree Palace Master is the kind of rich that overflows with oil. If he could maintain contact with her, he would be able to fish out a lot of sacred Xian silver crystal from her in the future. Good. The Divine Tree Palace Master is very fond of this kind of space-type things. He very happily laughed and said, Palace Master Grandma, when I have time, I'll help you refine some good storage magic tools. The space inside will be even bigger. It can store a mountain. Qin Yun said with a smile. Good. The Divine Tree Palace Master is grinning from ear to ear and said, Sacred Xian silver crystals are easy to deal with. I don't have much of anything but sacred Xian silver crystals. Qin Yin smiled and nodded, then knocked on the door to let Yao Cece and Liang Qin come out. Knowing that they can follow the Divine Tree Palace Master to the top of the Divine Tree, Yao Cece and Liang Qin are extremely happy. Especially Yao Cece. She almost forgot about Elder Sue's 50 million silver crystal coins. The Divine Tree Palace Master said that she would send Elder Sue to her place with the silver crystal coins. Just like this, Yao Cece and Liang Qin followed the Divine Tree Palace Master up. And Qin Yin plans to fly up again to investigate at night. Because only at night, the entire Divine Tree comes to life. At that time, it can sense even more. As long as the people in the 5-star city have time, they will lie on a couch outside and look at the flowers in the sky. Everyone is waiting for the petals to fall, because according to legend, as long as one picks up a petal and absorbs it, they can immediately break through several realms. The petal is very large, 1 to 2 meters long. Moreover, it is crystal and very heavy. It is said that when the petal fell, it smashed people to death. No one knows if this is true or not, but it is true that many houses have been smashed. Finally, it is night. After nightfall, the city became even more lively. Many people are on the roofs, in the open space, or sticking their heads out of the window, looking at the pink flowers on the huge tree crown. The crown of the Divine Tree is like a huge umbrella that covers the sky. The dense and huge branches and leaves release a cold white light. The pink flowers flickering with light are especially dazzling. Below the 5-star city, the golden moon cannot be seen, because the golden moon seems to always be at the top of the tree, constantly sending energy to the tree. It's time to go up and take a look. Qin Yun used invisibility technique to make himself invisible. Then he used floating rune ability to make his body float up. As he floated up, Qin Yun felt very relaxed. He did not feel strenuous at all. This means that he can properly study the entire divine tree. It is very difficult to fly under the divine tree. Even some birds and beasts that can fly are unable to fly here. Qin Yun guessed that this is the power of the divine tree. It is to protect the divine tree from being disturbed when it blooms. Only the divine bee that the divine tree palace master mentioned can fly. The divine tree palace is built on the top of the tree. Only the palace master can be on it. The other people of the divine tree palace can only move around at the bottom of the divine tree. They do not have the qualifications to enter the top. In other words, the palace master has great authority in the divine tree palace. Usually, he is too lazy to care about the internal strife of the elders. The blossoming of the divine tree means that this will be a grand meeting of the ancient garden. Normally, it is very difficult for the 3 palaces and 6 sects to gather together. However, every time the divine tree blooms, they will gather in 5-star cities. Those who cannot enter the 5-star cities will also wander around the vicinity of the 5-star cities. I wonder if Grandpa Wei and the others will come. When Qin Yun flew up, he also hoped that Wei Zhongjin and the others would come. At that time, he will have a very strong helper. It won't be a problem for him to fight against the Liu clan. Of course, he also has many enemies. For example, the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate and Immortal Family. They have all smoothly entered the ancient garden, but they still hate Qin Yun. After flying for a while, Qin Yun finally approached a flower. He was standing on a branch so thick that would be a problem to build a house on it. Although the flower has just bloomed, it is more than half a meter wide. It is emitting pink light and emitting a very enchanting flower fragrance. So fragrant! Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration. There is no one around, and no one can come up here. If they discover someone climbing up the tree, they will be killed. Qin Yun, let Mo come out. Mo is a little fairy. She loves these flowers the most. After she came out, she saw such beautiful flowers and exclaimed in admiration. So big, so beautiful and fragrant, she very happily giggled and flew into the heart of the flower. She is very small, flying around in the heart of the flower. She looks like a flower fairy. Mo, can you communicate with these flowers? Qin Yun asked. Of course I can, Mo said with a smile. Just as she finished speaking, the flowers moved. Apparently, they are very welcoming of this little fairy. Then ask Hua Er, where is the divine bee? Will it come? Qin Yun said. Mo nodded and then closed her eyes. After a while, Mo opened her eyes and flew to Qin Yun's shoulder. Her petite body is still emitting a fragrant pink light. Hua Er said that the divine bee nest has been sealed. The divine bee can't come out. Mo said. What? Sealed? Who sealed it? Qin Yun asked again. Hua Er also don't know. They only know that the divine bee nest is inside the tree trunk, and they will guide you there. Mo said in delicate voice. I told Hua Er, Big Brother is a good person, worthy of trust. You can definitely save the divine bee. Qin Yun nodded and said, I will definitely do it. Mo said with a smile. Big Brother, bring a few flowers in. They are willing to be with me. All right. Qin Yun laughed, then plucked a pink flower and placed it inside the 9-sun divine soul. Soon after, Qin Yun plucked a few more flowers and placed them inside the 9-sun divine soul for Mo. The flowers are a whole body. When Qin Yun walked past them, the petals trembled and guided Qin Yun towards the divine bee nest. Qin Yun has the tree totem inside his body. Back then, he obtained the approval of the tree totem. Therefore, the tree totem entered his body. It is also because of the tree totem that the flowers approved of him. Such a huge divine tree must have a spirit, and the divine bee can make the divine tree bear fruit. Now is sealed inside the divine tree. It is very likely that the divine tree's spirit is also sealed. Who sealed the divine bee? Could it be the divine tree palace master? Qin Yun said in his heart. Only the divine tree palace master can walk on the divine tree. Qin Yun entered the divine tree's lush canopy. Guided by the flowers, he found a very small tree hole. This tree hole is very well hidden. Its surface is covered by a layer of tree bark. The tree hole is only half a person tall compared to the sky's supporting pillar like tree trunk. It is indeed a very small tree hole. If a person wants to enter the tree hole, they can only go in. Qin Yin did not go in. Instead, he used mysterious penetration divine ability to pass through the tree hole. There's a very spacious passage inside. Chapter 16:37. Divine Tree Heart Qin Yin also wants to see what those divine bees are like. He saw that the passage here is very big and suddenly felt that the divine bees must also be very big. Has the divine bee nest been sealed? I came in very easily just now. Qin Yin looked behind him. The entrance is very small. He didn't want to crawl like a dog for a long time, so he directly used mysterious penetration divine ability to enter. When he came in, he didn't encounter any barrier. Maybe he's sealed inside. Ling Yuner said, "Quickly go in and take a look." The divine bee nest is inside the divine tree, and the inside of the divine tree is also shining, emitting cold white light. He touched the wall. It is the wooden wall of the divine tree. It is very strong. Even if it is an ordinary immortal weapon, it would not be easy to pierce the divine tree. He took out a top-quality immortal sword and vigorously stabbed the wall. Unexpectedly, he couldn't pierce it. What surprised him is that when he vigorously stabbed the wall, it actually trembled as if it is elastic. Mysterious, truly mysterious. Qin Yin put away his weapon and walked forward. After walking for a while, many holes appeared on both sides of the passage, all leading to other places. After all, this is the divine bee nest. The passages inside must be intricate and complicated. It seems like the divine bees haven't been active for a long time. Qin Yin released formidable mental power to sense the aura here. He didn't sense the aura of other living beings. The aura here all came from the flickering white wooden walls. Xiao Yun, the divine bee, should be considered a beast. You can use the beast tracking runes to make a talisman and give it a try. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yin also planned to do so, but he didn't immediately do it. Instead, he let Mo come out. After Mo came out, she flew around a few times, but didn't sense the aura of the divine bee. In desperation, Qin Yin can only begin refining a talisman. It is specially used to detect beast spirit fluctuations and all kinds of soul fluctuations. It can also be considered as a kind of soul-chasing talisman. After tossing and turning for more than an hour, he finally finished refining it. Qin Yin activated the soul-chasing talisman. The soul-chasing talisman immediately reacted. It constantly flickered with light towards one direction. It really works. He grabbed the talisman and used mysterious penetration divine ability to pass through that direction. There were many passageways here, and the soul-chasing talisman had sensed soul fluctuations ahead. They could only find it if they walked in a straight line. When Qin Yin used his penetration divine ability, he could quickly pass through many passageways. He did not need to go around in circles. Before long, he arrived at a passageway. The passageway was very narrow. It was only a meter high, and only one person could walk through it. Qin Yin is currently squatting. He can sense that there is something in one of the walls of the passageway. He rested for a while. After turning invisible, he used the penetration divine art and passed through the wall. After passing through, he suddenly felt extremely cold. He came to a very spacious hall. There were many blocks of ice here, and within the blocks of ice, there were snow-white divine bees. Those god bees were pure white and looked like ordinary bees. Also, they were as big as cows. It really has been sealed. Qin Yin also felt incomparably cold. He felt that even if he stayed here for a long time, he would still be frozen. Who sealed these divine bees in ice? Qin Yin walked in the cold hall and suddenly sensed something. In the middle of the hall, there's a very big block of ice. This block of ice is as big as a small house. It is completely white and emitted a cold white light. It is impossible to see what is inside. This hall is very spacious. It is like the inside space of the divine tree. There are many frozen divine bees piled up. Qin Yin arrived at the center and used extinction spirit to look at the huge block of ice. He discovered that there's a very big heart inside. and beside the heart, there's a person. This gave him a fright. Who are you? Suddenly a voice transmitted into Qin Yun's mind. It is a very strong mental intent. It is a man's voice. I am Qin Yun. Qin Yun closed his eyes and followed the mental intent to reply. He asked again, and who are you? I am Divine Bee King. Human, are you from the Willow Moon clan? Divine Bee King's voice is filled with anger. I am not from the Willow Moon clan. I am just an ordinary person. I heard from the Divine Tree Palace Master that the divine bees disappeared for a period of time. Then I came to the Divine Tree to take a look. Those flowers told me that you have been sealed. Divine Bee King said in amazement. The Divine Tree blossomed? Or did the flowers tell you that we have been sealed? They did not tell me. They told my friends. How can I help you unseal them? Qin Yun said. Qin Yun secretly guessed that it is very likely that the Willow Moon clan sealed these divine bees. As for how they seal them, he doesn't know. We need very strong flame. As long as we can melt this block of ice and awaken the Divine Tree's heart, it will be fine. Divine Bee King said. Divine Tree's heart? Why are you and the Divine Tree's heart sealed in ice? Qin Yun said in amazement. It was done by those scoundrels from the Willow Moon clan. The Divine Tree has been absorbing the power of the Golden Moon all this time, and the Willow Moon clan is playing tricks in the dark. They controlled the Golden Moon to release a very cold power for the Divine Tree to absorb. Qin Yun took out the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon and asked, what are they doing with the frozen Divine Tree's heart? They want to destroy the Divine Tree. Divine Bee King said again. Then why do they want to destroy the Divine Tree? Qin Yun asked again. He wants to use the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon to release sacred flame to melt the block of ice. Because the Divine Tree wants to evolve. Once it evolves, it can transform into spirit and enter Divine Desolate. Willow Moon Clan wants to control the Divine Tree and absorb its divine power. If you can save us, we will be very grateful to you. Divine Bee King said. Qin Yun controlled the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon to absorb the sacred oil inside the small black bottle. Then he controlled the sacred flame totem to condense sacred flame and ignite the sacred oil. Hoo. After the sacred oil was ignited, it started burning fiercely. Qin Yun took out a wind talisman and placed it into the cannon barrel. It produced a very strong wind and blew the flame towards the ice block. The ice started melting, but the melting speed is very slow. What kind of ice is this? Qin Yun said with frown. Sacred flame is burning so fiercely, but it can't melt so quickly. This is the sacred ice power condensed by the Willow Moon sacred power. Your sacred flame is not the strongest, so the melting speed is not very fast. Divine Bee King is also very pleasantly surprised and said, but if you continue, you will definitely succeed. Divine Bee King, how much do you know about this ancient garden? Qin Yun asked. Divine Bee King knows that the Divine Tree wants to evolve and ascend to Divine Desolate. It must have a great background. The Divine Tree can ascend. This is also an inconceivable matter. Ask me whatever you want to know. I will definitely tell you what I know. Divine Bee King feels that Qin Yun is very interesting because an ordinary human can release so many flames. I want to obtain Sun Spirit. How much do you know about Sun Spirit? Qin Yun said. The Sun Spirit has split into 2 parts. One part is running around in the ancient garden, and the other part is inside the Golden Moon. Divine Bee King said. This is indeed the same as a legend. There is indeed a part of Sun Spirit inside the Golden Moon. How can I obtain it? I have a stone that can sense the half Sun Spirit that is running around. Qin Yun asked hurriedly. The Divine Tree can lure that half Sun Spirit over, but whether or not you can obtain it will depend on you. Divine Bee King said. This can be considered as the Divine Tree's repayment to you. When can it be done? Qin Yun is secretly excited. The Divine Tree can only lure the Sun Spirit here. As for when to proceed, we will have to wait for the Divine Tree to recover. Divine Bee King said with a smile, you don't have to worry. If it's yours, it will definitely be yours. Qin Yun said worriedly, I heard that many people have stones that can sense the sun spirit. If they come over to snatch it, then my chances are slim. The sun spirit does not belong to them. Among them, there were people who came into contact with the sun spirit, but failed and even caused the sun spirit to split into two. Divine Be King said, "So it's like that." Qin Yun revealed a happy smile. He had the 9-sun divine spirit in his hands and had successfully subdued 2 sun spirits. The sun spirit of this ancient garden would definitely be subdued by him. "All right, Divine Be King, what's your relationship with the divine tree?" Qin Yun asked. "I can be considered a servant of the divine tree." Divine Be King said, "We also protect the divine tree." "Protect the divine tree? Then what are those people from the divine tree palace?" Qin Yun said with a frown. "They are just vermin." Divine Be King said, "The divine tree palace used to be fine, but later on, they only wanted the divine tree to pay and didn't want to repay. Otherwise, the Liu Yu clan wouldn't have succeeded." Qin Yun understood. The divine tree had once sent people from the divine tree palace to deal with the Liu Yu clan, but the people from the divine tree palace didn't do anything. It's about to bloom and bear fruit. At that time, the people from the divine tree palace will definitely be able to get the most. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "They can forget about it. The divine tree is very angry this time and won't be as merciful as before." Divine Be King said angrily, "Heh, give me that fruit, King." Qin Yun said with a smile, "I'll give you all the divine fruits." Divine Be King said, "However, you have to agree to one condition of the divine tree." Qin Yun is extremely delighted and said with a smile, "Speak. Let me see if I can do it or not." "Eliminate the Liu Yu clan." Divine Be King said, "The divine tree will make you stronger. After you obtain the divine fruit, give it to your friends and make them stronger. Then they will follow you to deal with the Liu Yu clan." No problem. Even if the divine tree didn't say it, he would still go and eliminate the Liu Yu clan. The barrel of a 9 Heavens Dragon Lion cannon is very hot. Fortunately, there's a lot of sacred ice here. Qin Yun moved the ice water and all kinds of sacred ice over to cool down the barrel. Bang bang. Qin Yun suddenly heard some sound. It seems like something is knocking on the wall. "What's going on?" Qin Yun looked at the wall covered in ice. He used Extinction Spirit Eye and discovered that there are people outside the wall. More than 10 people. Don't tell me they are from the Liu clan. Qin Yun said in alarm. "That's the entrance door. They are about to open the door. Quickly hide." Divine Be King is very angry and furious. She sent voice transmission to Qin Yun. "Those bastards from the Liu Yu clan want to destroy the heart." Chapter 1638. Deja vu. The divine beehive was very high up in the divine tree. So the divine tree palace had to guard this place and not allow others to come to this height. But now, the Willow Moon clan had come, and there were quite a few of them. In the divine tree palace, there was Elder Liu Yu. Qin Yun suspected that it was very likely that Elder Liu Yu had brought people over. He scolded the divine tree palace for being useless because the divine tree palace lord knew that Elder Liu Yu had ill intentions but did not restrain her. Otherwise, Elder Liu Yu would not have done as she pleased and come to the height of the divine tree. The divine tree palace master has always wanted to leave the ancient garden. How could she have the mood to protect the divine tree? Ling Yun lightly snorted. In the entire divine tree palace, not many people want to protect the divine tree. Just as Qin Yun hid behind a large pile of ice and used invisibility to conceal himself, the door was about to open. Ka ka ka. The door outside slowly opened. The door was sealed in ice, and the people outside had used a very powerful force to push open the door. After the door was opened, many large chunks of ice fell down. Next, an aura of a heavenly immortal surged in. The people who pushed the door open earlier were all very strong heaven immortals. Moreover, they all used very strong heaven immortal power to push it open. Qin Yun stuck his head out and looked outside. After he became invisible, it was difficult for others to see him. In addition, this place was filled with a large amount of sky immortal energy. Even if he did not conceal his aura well, it would still be difficult to sense him. 15 people entered, 10 of whom were middle-aged men and patriarchs, while the other 5 were women. There were 2 middle-aged women and 1 old woman, and 1 young and beautiful woman. When Qin Yun saw the woman, he was alarmed. It was because that white-clothed woman was extremely beautiful. She had an exceptionally beautiful and dreamlike appearance. It was precisely Lu Yu Shuyan. Why is Shuyan here? Qin Yun was alarmed. Previously, Lu Yu Shuyan had mysteriously flown up to the Gold Moon. She only said that she had some matters to settle in the Gold Moon, but now she had come down. Those people should be Lu Yu clansmen of the Golden Moon. Those guys must be very strong. Ling Yuner said, "Why is Shu Yan with them?" Qin Yun was worried that Lu Yu and Shu Yan would be led astray. Damn girl, run. An ordinary-looking middle-aged woman wearing a set of brown armor pushed Lu Yu Shuyan with all her might. Lu Yu Shuyan's face was filled with disgust. She rolled her eyes and could only follow. Qin Yun can also see that Lu Yu Shuyan is being controlled by someone. An old man approached the large block of ice in the middle and said with a frown, "What's going on?" "A very strong flame has appeared here. It's the sacred flame." Another elder exclaimed, "Someone is burning ice here?" The Willow Moon clansmen looked at each other, then at their surroundings. Although there was not much of the remnant sacred flame aura here, coupled with the fact that it was very cold here, it was not easy to sense it. However, the Willow Moon clan members could sense it. Qin Yun is very calm because even if the Lu Yu clansmen discover him, they can't do anything to him. Who exactly released the sacred flame? An elder was extremely vigilant as he looked all around. That guy must still be here. An old woman took out a long sword and looked around the lobby. At that moment, Qin Yun was certain of the strength of these people. They were all at the Sky Mortal realm, but not very strong. Qin Yun did not dare to send a voice transmission to Lu Yu Shuyan, afraid that he would expose his position. He is thinking of a way to save Lu Yu Shuyan. What puzzled him is that Lu Yu Shuyan should not have the qualifications to enter a 5-star city, yet she can come here. Then there is only one possibility. Those people used a storage magic tool to bring Lu Yu Shuyan in. If she is discovered, the consequences will be very serious. Qin Yun secretly took out the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion cannon, loaded it with holy oil cannonball, and shot it at the nearby door. Boom! After the holy oil cannonball was shot, it immediately ignited with intense flame. Flame wave rushed out in all directions. The entire lobby was filled with scorching heat wave. "Over there!" someone shouted while looking at the door. A few middle-aged and old men immediately flew over. At this moment, Qin Yun took advantage of the chaotic aura and quietly arrived beside Lu Yu Shuyan. He suddenly grabbed Lu Yu Shuyan's lily-white hand and made her invisible. Lu Yu Shuyan was shocked to suddenly have her hand grabbed by someone. She wanted to shake it off, but she felt that the feeling is very familiar. She immediately realized that it is Qin Yun. Qin Yun pulled her and quietly walked to a corner. "Ah, where's that girl?" a middle-aged woman suddenly shouted. Earlier, Lu Yu clan people were looking at the flame on the door. They were only slightly distracted for a moment, and Lu Yu Shuyan disappeared. Lu Yu Shuyan's heart is palpitating. She is extremely nervous. When she saw the sacred flame earlier, she guessed that it was Qin Yun's doing. Because everyone knows that when Qin Yun got rid of Lu Yu Gufei's bandit nest, he produced many sacred flame. Later on, he also used sacred flame to burn down Black Xiong Town. Everyone knows that Qin Yun came to 5-star city with divine tree command. On the way here, Lu Yu Shuyan heard those people talking about Qin Yun. She did not expect that Qin Yun would be here. Qin Yun carried the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion cannon on his shoulder, controlled a storage bottle, released the cannon arrows, and loaded them into the cannon barrel. 8 cannon arrows suddenly appeared in the cannon barrel. Qin Yun activated the sacred mysterious silver crystal's sacred power inside the storage bottle. He suddenly activated the cannon arrows and shot them out. The pushing force is extremely strong. The entire cannon barrel became extremely hot in an instant. Qin Yun used one thought Imperial Heaven Art to control the direction of the 8 cannon arrows and aimed at 8 people. Controlling 8 cannon bolts was his limit. The dragon-tooth arrowheads are extremely sharp. They are being pushed by the powerful sacred power and shot out like light beams towards the 8 people. Among them, 2 women, 6 middle-aged men, and 1 old man were all hit by the cannon arrows. 2 middle-aged men reacted quickly. Only their bodies were pierced, the others were pierced in the head. Out of the 14 Liu Yu clan people, 6 were killed in a short while, 2 were heavily injured. Only 6 can fight. And those 6 people are furiously cursing. They became extremely vigilant. "Scoundrel, quickly come out!" a middle-aged man furiously shouted. Qin Yun controlled the 9 Heavens Dragon Line Cannon and shot out more than 10 cannonballs, igniting intense sacred flame that covered the entire hall. His 9 Heavens Dragon Line Cannon is too hot. It can't keep shooting powerful cannon arrows, otherwise it will be destroyed. After shooting the cannonballs, the 6 Liu Yu clan people and the 2 injured left the hall due to the heat. They can't endure the sacred flame. They can only rush out of the large door. Qin Yun released a barrier to protect himself and Liu Shuyan, then closed the door. After closing the door, he took out the floating cloud rod and made it bigger to support the door. This way, it will be very difficult to open the door from the outside. The sacred flame quickly extinguished. The place is filled with sacred ice, and the temperature dropped down. What made him depressed is that the sacred ice did not melt much. "Xiaoyun, why are you here?" Liu Shuyan, very pleasantly surprised, looked at Qin Yun and said with smile, "We are truly fated." "Shuyan, what happened to you back then? Why did you suddenly float up to Golden Moon?" Qin Yun asked. "It was Golden Moon that sucked me up. It wanted me to do something." Liu Shuyan's eyes flickered with ripples. She lightly sighed and said, "I didn't expect that not long after I went up, I would be controlled by those guys. Those bastards on Golden Moon are truly capable. Look at this place, it was done by them." Qin Yun curled his lips and said. Liu Shuyan nodded her head. "They sent me here to control this divine tree." Qin Yun carved flower and moon totems on Liu Shuyan, allowing her to transform. Her cultivation also became very high. She is now 8th level Golden Immortal Realm. "Shuyan, why did Golden Moon send you up?" Qin Yun asked. "Golden Moon gave me a mission. It is also because I have Moon Totem." Liu Shuyan faintly sighed and said, "I still haven't finished it." "What mission?" Qin Yun asked. It is to destroy Golden Moon. I also don't know why." Liu Shuyan said in low voice. "Destroy Golden Moon?" Qin Yun is very shocked. I can communicate with the Golden Moon Spirit. The Golden Moon Spirit said that it wants me to destroy the entire Golden Moon. As for why, the Golden Moon Spirit didn't tell me." Liu Shuyan shook her head. Qin Yun placed the 9 Heavens Dragon Line Cannon on a block of ice to cool it down. He tried to use mysterious penetration divine ability to get the Divine Bee King out, but he didn't succeed. The interior of that huge piece of holy ice contained a very strong power that could block the power of divine abilities. "Shuyan, I suddenly feel that you're giving me a very familiar feeling. Could it be that we knew each other before?" After Qin Yun cooled down the 9 Heavens Dragon Line Cannon, he continued releasing sacred flame to melt the ice. "Then which beauty do you think I look like?" Liu Shuyan smiled sweetly. Her beautiful eyes are as tender as water, filled with affection and charm, very alluring and flirtatious. Her beautiful eyes almost made Qin Yun's soul fly out of his body. Qin Yun cursed this seductress a few times in his heart, then turned his head with great difficulty and began seriously burning the ice. "I don't know." Qin Yun is also very vexed. He asked Ling Yun, to help him think whether or not this Liu Shuyan is someone he knows. "Oomph." Liu Shuyan lightly groaned. "Shuyan, don't tell me you really know me?" Qin Yun said in shock. We know each other, and our relationship is very good. You actually didn't think of me." Liu Shuyan coquettishly pouted. Who are you?" Qin Yun pondered with frown, and then looked at Liu Shuyan. When Liu Shuyan saw Qin Yun looking at her, her dreamy face showed a charming smile. This made Qin Yun immediately turn his head away. Qin Yun suddenly felt that he has no resistance against this mysterious woman. He is a person who has tempered himself for a long time. His willpower is extremely firm. It is very rare for a woman to make him so restless. Chapter 1639. Queen Bee's Fury. Xiao Yun, we know each other. You actually don't know who I am. You are truly hateful. Lu Yushuyin pouted coquettishly, but her face is filled with an enchanting and charming smile. Her voice is very soft and tender. Qin Yun cursed Lu Yushuyin in his heart and earnestly thought about the woman he is familiar with. But he cannot remember who this Lu Yushuyin looks like. He knew quite a number of charming beauties, but none of them could bewitch him like Lu Yushuyin. Shuyin, we don't even know each other. You must be deliberately saying this to tease me. Don't be naughty, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yun, the third part of your floating cloud heavenly seal is in the heavenly province. You are looking for the third part of the floating cloud heavenly seal, right? Lu Yushuyin covered her mouth and said with charming smile, do you still think that I am deliberately teasing you? Qin Yun immediately opened his eyes wide. His face is filled with shock as he looked at Lu Yushuyin. Lu Yushuyin knows about the floating cloud heavenly seal. She must be a woman who has very good relationship with him. And there are not many of these women. None of them look like Lu Yushuyin. I carved a moon totem for you, and you suddenly have memories? Qin Yun said with frown. His expression is very solemn. He feels that Lu Yushuyin must be someone's clone. No, after I won a golden moon, I gradually have memories of the immortal desolate clone. Lu Yushuyin smiled. She leaned close to Qin Yun's ear and gently blew on his orchid fragrance. Her voice is filled with soul-captivating charm as she softly said, Xiao Yun, you really can't remember who I am? You heartless man? Ling Yin'er lightly shouted from within Qin Yun's illusory mental space. Xiao Yun, quickly turn around, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her, everything will be fine. Qin Yun is holding the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion cannon. He is currently in a dilemma, whether he should kiss Lu Yushuyin or not. If it was any other woman, he would not be in such a dilemma. He would directly ignore them. But Lu Yushuyin made him hesitate. Lu Yushuyin giggled, then gently kissed Qin Yun's handsome face and said with charming smile, Little fool, if you can't remember who I am, I will never tell you. Cough, cough, little brother, be serious. A voice suddenly came from the block of ice. It was the voice of the Divine Bee King. Divine Bee King, can I destroy this block of ice? Qin Yun came back to his senses and asked. Don't act recklessly. The Divine Bee King said anxiously. Lu Yushuyin is beside Qin Yun. She is blinking her beautiful and moving eyes. She is looking at Qin Yun with tenderness, causing Qin Yun to feel uneasy. Qin Yun doesn't dare to look at Lu Yushuyin's eyes because he has never seen such a beautiful pair of eyes filled with such deep emotions. This made him somewhat unable to control himself. Because of this, he couldn't figure out who these eyes belonged to. He and Ling Yin had thought of many women, but there was no answer. Among the women he knew, there were a few who had deep feelings for him. When they revealed their emotions, their eyes were not like this. They would more or less restrain themselves. And when Lu Yu revealed her emotions, it could be said that she did not hide it at all. It was completely exposed. From her eyes, they're filled with deep affection. One can see how much she likes Qin Yun. Eyes are the window to the soul. She revealed her feelings for Qin Yun completely through her beautiful eyes. Who the hell are you? Qin Yun asked. I won't tell you. Lu Yushuyin giggled and then kissed Qin Yun's cheek. My Xiao Yun is so beautiful. Especially your anxious appearance. You are so cute. Qin Yun somewhat regretted helping Lu Yushuyin carve the moon totem. She actually gave him such a big puzzle. Yuan, you are Yuan, Qin Yun suddenly said. Wrong. Actually, I am Yuan Mei. Lu Yushuyin giggled and said, Don't you recognize me? You are not Yuan Mei. Qin Yun's head is about to explode. He suddenly realized that this Lu Yushuyin is even more mischievous than Xiao Yuan Mei. Lu Yushuyin said with charming smile, Then who am I? Xiao Yun, tell me who I am. You're my great aunt, okay? Qin Yun helplessly shouted and stopped thinking about it. This is even more headache than carving runes. Bang, bang, bang. The remaining people of the Willow Moon clan were banging on the door and cursing nonstop. If they knew that Qin Yun and Lu Yushuyan are flirting inside, their liver would explode in anger. Oof. You are Yuelon. I did not expect that you would have a clone inside, Qin Yun said. Xiao Yuelon has a tender and charming side. She also has a cold and emotionless side, filled with killing intent. Sometimes she is also very mischievous. Moreover, Xiao Yuelon also has deep affection for him. After all, they have experienced 2 lifetimes. This kind of affection is very rare. I am not Yuelon. Lu Yushuyan mischievously stuck out her tongue and then kissed Qin Yun's cheek. Different clones could have different appearances as well. For example, Xian Rujing's clone Xian Lingxue has different appearance, and most of the time it is the same. For example, Star God's clone Yu Shutian and Xiakiru's clone Xian Yinyun look exactly the same. Big Sister Star God, it must be you. Qin Yun suddenly thought of Star God and said with smile, Ha ha ha, I guess correctly, right? Wrong, I'm not Star God. Lu Yushuyan giggled and said, Xiao Yun, don't tell me you want to call out the names of all the women you know one by one. That won't do. Qin Yun truly planned to do so. You can only guess 5 people. Yuelon, Yueme, Star God. You have guessed them all. You still have 2 chances left. Lu Yu Shuyan said again. You are Shui Tianzi, Water Fairy. You must be her. I guess correctly, right? Qin Yun said with smile. Wrong. Lu Yu Shuyan said with charming smile. I won't guess anymore. I want to save Divine Be King. Qin Yun said with firm expression. Divine Be King said with bitter smile. Big brother, you finally remembered me. You should quickly get down to business. Lu Yu clan people are still outside. Qin Yun closed his eyes and recalled Lu Yu Shuyan's eyes. But because she is too dreamy, it is very hard to compare. It is a very wonderful feeling. What made him depressed is that he feels that the eyes of many women he knows are somewhat similar to Lu Yu Shuyan. It seems like Lu Yu Shuyan is born with a strange ability. Lu Yu Shuyan is such a dreamy and blurred woman. When looking at her, he always feels that her beautiful face is very similar to all kinds of beautiful women. Lu Yu Shuyan's lily-white hand suddenly reached inside Qin Yun's clothes and gently caressed his heart. She said with smile and charming voice, Xiao Yun, is your heart itching to know who I am? Qin Yun nodded and said, Then I will help you scratch it. Lu Yu Shuyan's lily-white hand is soft, as if it has no bones. It is very comfortable and soft. It is gently caressing Qin Yun's heart. Qin Yun suddenly feels like he has fallen into a quagmire. It is very difficult for him to struggle out. Lu Yu Shuyan is like a quagmire, causing his heart to sink very, very deep. Fortunately, he is also a person who has seen wind and waves. He is still very calm as he burns the ice. Divine Be King, if you come out, can you deal with those guys outside? Qin Yun asked. No problem. Divine Be King said, Big brother, do you know why your girlfriend wants to destroy the Golden Moon? Lu Yu Shuyan is also very curious and asked, Why? I also want to know. The Golden Moon has never told me. Divine Be King said, The Golden Moon will not be completely destroyed. It will be reborn from nirvana. There is a sun spirit inside the Golden Moon. After being affected by the sun spirit and 9 suns for many years, it is time for it to break through. If the Golden Moon is destroyed by you, it can be reborn in another place. My guess is that it will be reborn in the Divine Desolate. Destroy the Golden Moon, and you can obtain the sun spirit inside. Lu Yu Shuyan said, Xiao Yun, I will definitely get that half-sun spirit for you. Shuyan, thank you, you are so good to me. Qin Yun said with smile. Who asked me to be your girlfriend? Lu Yu Shuyan said with light smile. Xiao Yun, although you can't remember who I am, you will always be my man. Divine Be King coughed dryly and said, Once the ancient garden doesn't have sun spirit and golden moon, it won't use a large amount of sacred Xian silver crystals anymore. The reason why the sacred Xian silver crystals can be reborn so many times is also because of the golden moon. The sacred power released by the golden moon is very strong. More than half of the ice has melted, and now the divine bee king can be seen. He is as tall as a human. His body is like a human, but he has a bee head and a pair of large bee wings. Divine bee king, don't you have a butt? Where's your big butt? Qin Yun looked at the back of the divine bee king. There is no bee butt. Lu Yu Shuyan giggled and said, Xiao Yun, the divine bee king has transformed into a human. There is no bee butt. Then why does he have a bee head? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, It looks like a fly's head. Divine bee king is speechless and said, This is not my head. It is just a helmet. It can be taken off. So it's like that. Qin Yun said with smile, Will my sacred flame burn you? It won't. Divine bee king said, The sacred flame is very strong, but it can't burn the divine tree's heart. The ice on the divine bee king's stiff body has finally melted, and he can now move. He can indeed take off the bee head. It is truly a helmet. Under the helmet is a middle-aged man with a face full of beard. He has no eyebrows. His eyes are bright and watery. Moreover, he is bald. His appearance is very comical. He fiddled with his bee head helmet and then put it on. Qin Yun is now melting the ice on the surface of the divine tree's heart. The heart is originally only as tall as a person. It has a very shriveled appearance and is dark brown in color. When it is almost completely melted, the divine tree's heart suddenly started throbbing and expanded very much. It is now 3 to 4 meters tall, and golden light even appeared on its surface. In just a short while, the divine tree's heart recovered. It now looks like a huge crystal heart. When its throbbing, golden light flickered, it is very beautiful. Along with the throbbing of the heart, the ice in the lobby also quickly melted. Many cow-sized divine bees let out buzzing sound and flew up. Prepare to attack. Divine bee king looked at the door and coldly shouted. Chapter 1640. Don't be scared. Qin Yun saw the divine bees just thawed and worriedly said, Divine bee king, how are you guys recovering? Isn't it not good to fight like this? We have divine tree's help. It will be fine. Divine bee king said with smile. Move that thing away and let those guys come in. Divine tree's heart is indeed releasing very strong energy. It is mobilizing the entire tree's energy, condensing it and shining it on the divine bees' bodies. The divine bees that just woke up from their frozen state suddenly became lively and vigorous after being shown on by the divine tree's heart. Each divine bee is brimming with vitality. Their bodies are overflowing with immortal power and saint power aura. It can be seen that these divine bees have been absorbing large amount of saint power to cultivate all year round. Qin Yun and Lu Shuyan sense the divine bee swarm's power and are secretly apprehensive. This is a very strong power. Even if many powerful celestial immortal groups fought against the divine bee swarm, they wouldn't dare to guarantee that they could defeat them. Qin Yun controlled the floating cloud staff to shrink and then took it back. Suddenly, the door was blasted open by people outside. There are 6 Willow Moon celestial immortals standing outside the door. 2 of them are heavily injured, but they still have weapons in their hands and can still fight. They finally blasted open the door, but what they saw left them dumbfounded. Because the frozen divine bees and divine tree's heart have been unsealed. Seeing the furious divine bee swarm and divine bee king, the Willow Moon celestial immortals know that they are dead for sure. Kill! Divine bee king furiously shouted. Several thousand divine bees, as big as cows, their stingers suddenly flickered with golden light and shot towards the door like lightning. There's a passage outside the door. It is also the passage for the divine bees. The Willow Moon celestial immortals saw that the situation is not good and wanted to escape. But they discovered that there is a large net made of tree vines blocking their way. A large number of divine bee stingers rushed out of the door like tide and entered the passage. The Willow Moon celestial immortals were immediately enveloped by several thousand stingers. Their bodies were pierced by the stingers and turned into pieces in the blink of an eye. Qin Yun and Lu Shuyan glanced at each other in shock. These divine bees were much stronger than they had expected. When they joined forces, they could actually kill a few celestial immortals. Divine Bee King, are there only these divine bees? Asked Qin Yun. No, this is the main nest. We also have a few other hives. The Divine Bee King said. The divine bees here are the strongest. They're mainly responsible for combat, while the other hives are responsible for collecting honey or nurturing young bees. Qin Yun said with a smile. Then do you have honey? The divine bee's honey was definitely delicious. There used to be, but not now. But since the divine tree has bloomed, we will soon be able to gather nectar to brew. Divine Bee King laughed. I will give you some when the time comes. The little cutie Mo loves to eat these things the most. Qin Yun wanted the god honey, mainly for Mo to eat. All right, Qin Yun nodded and said with a smile. Oh right, when will the petals of those flowers start falling? Soon. When the time comes, we will collect the petals and use them to make a large amount of god honey or god honey crystals. Just thinking about it makes it very delicious, Qin Yun said with a smile. When the fruit is finished, we will collect the divine fruits and give them to you. The Divine Bee King said with a smile. This is the last time the divine tree will bloom and bear fruit in an ancient garden. It is also because of your help that we and the divine tree can be reborn, otherwise we would have been controlled by Lu Yu clan. Therefore, the last time the divine tree blooms and bears fruit, it will be the most flourishing, the largest scale. Lu Yu Shuyan pulled Qin Yun's hand and said with light smile, Xiao Yun, this is your reward for doing good deeds. You are indeed worthy of being my good Xiao Yun. You often help these evil people. Qin Yun lightly groaned and said, Shuyan, why don't you tell good Xiao Yun who you are? I won't say. Lu Yu mischievously stuck out her tongue at Qin Yun and said with charming smile, You are big sister Yang Shuriwe. Qin Yun laughed loudly and said, Yes, you must be her. No, you guessed wrong. Lu Yu Shuyan lightly scratched Qin Yun's tall nose and charmingly smiled. You won't have a chance. Qin Yun helplessly looked at the Divine Bee King. The Divine Bee King shrugged his shoulders. He is also very speechless. I want to return to Golden Moon, Lu Yu Shuyan said in low voice. Xiao Yun, I want to destroy Golden Moon. I want to temporarily separate from you. I will go with you. Qin Yun pulled her lily-white hand and did not let her go. No, you can't go to Golden Moon now. Also, I still haven't figured out the situation there. I won't be captured by them again this time, Lu Yu Shuyan said. Qin Yun took out 2 teleportation talismans and 1 communication talisman, stuffed them into her hand and said, Teleportation talisman can let you escape quickly. Communication talisman can let you contact me. Thank you, Xiao Yun. You are truly my good Xiao Yun. You can refine such awesome things here. Lu Yu Shuyan warmly smiled and then kissed Qin Yun's cheek. Her beautiful eyes are filled with deep love. I will let the divine tree send you to the top of the tree. You can fly to Golden Moon from the top of the tree. The Divine Bee King said. All right, thank you, Divine Bee King and Divine Tree. Lu Yu Shuyan nodded and said with a smile. In the middle of the lobby, a beam of light suddenly appeared. This beam of light can reach the top of the tree. Qin Yun hastily took out the Gemini treasure mirror. Xiao Yun, what are you doing? When Lu Yu Shuyan walked over, she saw Qin Yun holding the Gemini treasure mirror and asked with slight frown. I want to take a picture of your beautiful face so that I can see you more often. Qin Yun said with a smile. Not giving. Lu Yu Shuyan giggled. She covered her dreamy and beautiful face with her hands and then flew to the beam of light. At this moment, the beam of light also brought Lu Yu Shuyan up, then passed through the trunk of the tree and sent her away in a short while. Qin Yun wants to take a picture of Lu Yu Shuyan's face and ask Bing Xing later. Lu Yu Shuyan seems to know that he wants to do this, so she deliberately blocked her face. And Lu Yu Shuyan's beautiful face has a kind of mystical charm. It is very difficult to describe it according to memory. My heart is stifled. Qin Yun shook his head and sighed, then put away the Gemini treasure mirror. Big brother, do you still have communication talisman? Divine Be King asked. I do. Qin Yun took out one, handed it over, and said with smile, we can contact you at any time. Oh, that's right. Where did you get your storage magic tool? Is the space big? Divine Be King asked again. It's not small, you want it? Qin Yun's eyes lit up because business is here. We want to bring some things to Divine Desolate with the Divine Tree. It will be safer to put them in the storage magic tool. Divine Be King said with smile. How big? Qin Yun asked. It would be best if it can fit a big mountain. If one is not enough, then we can add up many. Divine Be King can also see that Qin Yun can refine storage magic tool. This refining a storage magic tool with such a big space requires a lot of resources. Qin Yun frowned and sighed. I'm afraid I can't make one that big. What resources? That's easy. Divine Be King said with smile. Large amount of sacred Xian silver crystals and instant space immortal iron. Qin Yun said. 500 million genes of sacred Xian silver crystals and 50,000 genes of instant space immortal iron. How about it? Divine Be King said with smile. These things will be useless in Divine Desolate later. You can have them all. Qin Yun is very happy in his heart. This Divine Be King is truly generous. No problem. Qin Yun said with smile. Divine Be King, what kind of things do you want to bring to Divine Desolate? Some special wood. Divine Be King said. In short, it is very important to the Divine Tree. It is what the Divine Desolate Tree God wants. Oh, Qin Yun said, I will refine storage magic tool. It can be used even in Divine Desolate, don't worry. The Divine Tree just told me that the space runes and totems on your communication talisman can adapt to many kinds of space. Divine Be King said with smile. At this time, other divine bees have already left the passage. They must be busy harvesting honey. Qin Yun originally wanted to take a stroll inside the Divine Tree, but he suddenly sensed a soul-chasing talisman. Is the soul-chasing talisman used to track Xiao Yuanmei? Xiao Yuanmei is nearby. This little girl, she said she would sneak into 4-star and 5-star cities. Why is she only here now? Qin Yun secretly despised her in his heart. What caused him to be puzzled is that Xiao Yuanmei left the Divine Tree on the way. He doesn't know where she went. Divine Be King, I want to meet a friend. I'll be back very soon. Qin Yun said with smile. All right. If you encounter any trouble, you must find me. Divine Be King patted Qin Yun's shoulder. Qin Yun arrived in front of a light beam and was pushed out of the Divine Tree's bark by a power. It is already daybreak outside. After he concealed himself, he followed the soul-chasing talisman's guidance and flew toward a building not far away. Heaven Gathering Building? That little girl Yuanmei is in Heaven Gathering Building? Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. He thought Xiao Yuanmei was outside the city. He did not expect that she would actually sneak in a 5-star city. He also wants to find Xiao Yuanmei and ask her who she is. Qin Yun very quickly arrived at Heaven Gathering Building and arrived at the lobby of the first floor. He saw the pretty Xiao Yuanmei who is wearing a red skirt and has a pair of ponytails. There are several formidable heavenly immortals surrounding Xiao Yuanmei. They are all people of Heaven Gathering Pavilion. In front of Xiao Yuanmei, there's a man wearing golden clothes. His nose is caved in and bleeding a lot. It is clear that he was beaten by Xiao Yuanmei. Wretched girl, you dare to hit my nose. My nose is the most beautiful part of my face. That golden-clothed man howled in grief and anger. Is that so? I think it is very ugly. It looks like a pig's nose. If I smash it, it will look a bit better. Xiao Yuanmei lightly groaned and said, Heaven Gathering Building's shopkeeper, are you not going to take care of this matter? This little girl injured me. Lu Yu Jieting, in your territory, why are you still not arresting her? Lu Yu Jieting furiously shouted. I'm telling you, my father is Elder Lu Yu. Although I, Lu Yu Jieting, am not a heavenly immortal, I am my father's most beloved son. Xiao Yuanmei placed her hands on her waist. Her charming face is filled with might. She said with sneer, Then do you know who I am? You. Who are you? Lu Yu Jieting is also scared by Xiao Yuanmei's imposing manner. Hold me properly, stand firm, don't be scared by me, Xiao Yuanmei said. Everyone around moved away a bit. Chapter 1641. Falling Moon Palace Master Qin Yun is wearing a straw hat and a mask. He blended into the crowd and looked at Xiao Yuanmei. He is not in a hurry to attack. He knows Xiao Yuanmei's strength. It is more than enough to deal with those silk pants. You tell me, who are you? Seeing that Xiao Yuanmei is not afraid of him, Liu Jieting lost confidence in his heart. He raised his voice and shouted, I, Liu Jieting, come from Liu clan. My father is Divine Tree Palace's Liu elder. Who do you think you are? Oof. Even if your father, Elder Liu, came, he wouldn't dare do anything to me. Xiao Yuanmei's face is filled with disdain. Who does your father think he is? Not to mention your father. Even if clan leader Liu was here, I wouldn't be afraid of him. Everyone found it hard to believe, because this young and beautiful girl could not possibly have such a high status. No one can see Xiao Yuanmei's cultivation. They can only feel that her aura is very strong. Qin Yun is also looking at Xiao Yuanmei from the crowd. He wants to see what her cultivation level is, but he can't tell. Qin Yun is not surprised that Xiao Yuanmei's aura is very strong, because Xiao Yuanmei's mental power is very strong. Her mirror also has Nethermoon martial spirit and all kinds of totem runes. She could rely on many martial spirits to cultivate a very frightening aura. Quickly tell me who you are, or else I'm going to make a move. Liu Jieting snorted coldly. I am Falling Moon Palace's Palace Master. Falling Moon Palace Master is me. Xiao Yuanmei said coldly. You brat, do you know who I am? Falling Moon Palace Master. The Falling Moon Palace, one of the 3 palaces in 6 sects, was also very powerful. The Falling Moon Palace and the Willow Moon clan also had some history. It was said that the Willow Moon clan was quite wary of the Falling Moon Palace. It was rumored that many years ago, the Willow Moon clan had been utterly defeated by the Falling Moon Palace. The Willow Moon clan and the Falling Moon Palace had clashed many times, and each time, the Willow Moon clan had suffered a loss. Everyone saw a young lady claiming to be the Falling Moon Palace Master. This was inconceivable. There were not many people who had seen the Falling Moon Palace Master, and no one dared to say whether or not she was the Falling Moon Palace Master. You are really Falling Moon Palace Master? Liu Jieting looked at Xiao Yuanmei. His face is filled with disbelief. His eyes are filled with disdain. Xiao Yuanmei said with sneer, Liu clan bastard, if you don't believe me, come and deal with me. Liu Jie couldn't beat Xiao Yuanmei, otherwise, he wouldn't have had his beautiful nose smashed. Due to the blossoming of the Divine Tree, it was normal for all the big shots of the major sects to gather in the Divine Tree 5-star city. Juqian Pavilion was opened by the Divine Tree Palatial Lord, and the Divine Tree Palatial Lord and the Falling Moon Palatial Lord might have a good relationship. Just you wait. Liu Jieting is afraid. Just as he was about to leave, he was stopped by Xiao Yuanmei. You want to leave? Xiao Yuanmei said with sneer. Just now you used words to tease me and even threaten me. You said you would capture me and make me your maid. I, the dignified Fallen Moon Palace Master, was insulted by you like this, and you want to leave just like this? As she spoke, a thick red moonlight power surged out her body. The most shocking thing was that there was a red moon floating above her head. Bright red like blood, it has a kind of cold demonic aura, causing people to feel their blood run cold. The first floor of the Heaven Gathering restaurant suddenly became very cold. That bright red like blood red moon emitted cold light. It is filled with endless ice-cold killing intent, causing people to feel as if they are in the 9 underworld. Blood moon. Fallen Moon Palace Master's blood moon. Liu Jieting involuntarily cried out in fear. Plop. Liu Jieting suddenly knelt on the ground and said with trembling voice, Great Aunt, Junior knows his mistake. Please spare Junior's dog life. Everyone saw Liu Jieting begging for mercy. They didn't find it funny at all, because that dreadful red moon gives people an incomparably uncomfortable feeling of oppression. Liu Jieting teased Fallen Moon Palace Master. Even if he was killed, Divine Tree Palace would not say anything. The rules of 5-star cities only restrict ordinary people. It is useless against big shots like Fallen Moon Palace Master. Everyone felt that even if Fallen Moon Palace Master killed Liu Yu Jieting, Elder Liu Yu might personally come to apologize. This is the benefit of controlling formidable strength. So what if he has the backing of Liu Yu clan and Divine Tree Palace? Offending the formidable Fallen Moon Palace Master, this kind of small fry can only die. I can spare your life, but how many silver crystal coins do you plan to use to redeem your dog life? Xiao Yueme coldly snorted, put away the red moon, and took out a red half-round scimitar. Seeing her scimitar, everyone can't help but tremble, because the blade of the scimitar seems to have some kind of magic power. Many people present, seeing that beautiful red scimitar, have the urge to use it to cut their own throats. Some people are already unable to control themselves. Their bodies started twitching. Fortunately, they were slapped awake in time. Otherwise, they would have been confused by the scimitar. Qin Yun is secretly astonished. How did Xiao Yueme suddenly become Fallen Moon Palace Master? He knows that Xiao Yueme is fooling people, but this is just too real. If he didn't know Xiao Yueme, he would definitely think that this little girl is that Fallen Moon Palace Master. Great Aunt, how much do you want? Seeing the scimitar, Liu Yu Jieting is scared out of his wits. He almost cried out. He really did not expect that the legendary Fallen Moon Palace Master, who caused people to tremble in fear, would actually be such a delicate and pretty little girl. If he knew, even if he had enormous dog guts, he wouldn't have dared to take liberties with her. Then how much do you think her dog life is worth? Xiao Yueme gently caressed the blood-red saber's blade. Her face has a bewitching smile filled with killing intent. Everyone can see that her smile is filled with austere, killing intent. It is a very callous smile, giving people the feeling that she wants to kill people for fun. Even Qin Yun is shocked by Xiao Yueme's performance. 100 million silver crystal coins. Liu Yu Jieting shouted. I can only get this much. Sign a soul contract with me. Within 12 hours, give me 200 million silver crystal coins. If you can't get it, then die. Xiao Yueme said coldly. 200 million, fine. Liu Yu Jieting clenched his teeth and said, then signed a soul contract with Xiao Yueme. Scram. After Xiao Yueme finished speaking, she walked towards a special VIP passage to enter the Heaven Gathering Pavilion. Qin Yun also followed. He is also a VIP of the Heaven Gathering Pavilion. Xiao Yueme did not realize that the person behind her is Qin Yun because he is wearing a mask. After walking for a while, Xiao Yueme turned her head and looked at Qin Yun. Friend, are you also a VIP of the Heaven Gathering Pavilion? Which floor do you live on? Xiao Yueme said coldly. Qin Yun also wants to test himself to see if he can hide it from Xiao Yueme. I live on the same floor as you. Qin Yun replied. His voice is very hoarse. It is very different from his original voice. You want to cause trouble, right? I am the Fallen Moon Palace Master. Just now, I taught that Liu Yu clan brat a lesson so miserably, didn't you see? Xiao Yueme snorted. Don't follow me anymore. Your saber is fake. Qin Yun said. Xiao Yueme said with sneer. Fake? Then you dare to use your neck to test whether it is real or fake. You are not the Fallen Moon Palace Master. Qin Yun said again. I'm not, you are. Xiao Yueme took out the very frightening blood-colored scimitar from earlier. I can sense the aura of a mortal desolate from your body. You are not someone born and raised in ancient times garden. Qin Yun said again. Actually, he is just making things up. Xiao Yueme is secretly alarmed in her heart, but her expression did not change. She shouted, You are spouting nonsense. Are you courting death? Suddenly, she thought of something and took out a soul-chasing talisman. She saw that the soul-chasing talisman has a great reaction and is shining. Oomph. Xiao Yueme grumbled with hidden bitterness because she knows that the person before her is Qin Yun. You didn't recognize me. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Who knew you would suddenly appear here? Xiao Yueme pulled Qin Yun's hand and hastily ran up the stairs. She brought Qin Yun into a very luxurious room. Qin Yun also took off his mask and said with smile, Falling Moon Palace Master, where have you been these past few days? Brother, I originally thought that I would be able to reach 5-star city before you. I did not expect that as soon as I entered the city, I would hear that you are in the heaven-gathering pavilion. Xiao Yuanmei feels a sense of defeat. She puffed up her cheeks and said with some vexation. She puffed up her cheeks and pouted. Her appearance is extremely adorable. Qin Yin cannot help but reach out his hand to touch it. How can you impersonate Falling Moon Palace Master? Qin Yun asked. Because I met the real Falling Moon Palace Master outside the city. She even ran with me for a while. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. The real Falling Moon Palace Master? Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. He now understands why Xiao Yuanmei suddenly left the divine tree. She's an old granny, but no one has seen her for many years, so I can impersonate her very successfully. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Is she still in this 5-star city? Qin Yun asked. No, she wants to go to Falling Moon Palace. She knows that I am from Immortal Desolate. Moreover, I told her many interesting stories about Immortal Desolate. I even gave her a pass. Xiao Yuanmei said. She took out the blood-colored scimitar and said with smile, Brother, this scimitar of mine is the real Falling Moon Bloodblade. Grandma Luo, you gave it to me. It is also a symbol of status. Did she send you into 5-star city? Qin Yun asked. Xiao Yuanmei nodded and said with smile. She told me that if I meet Luyu clan people, I can feel at ease and beat them up. If anything happens, she will take care of it for me. Qin Yun is somewhat curious about Falling Moon Palace. After all, it is a sect that dares to fight against Luyu clan. In the future, he will fight against Luyu clan. If possible, he can ally with Falling Moon Palace. This way, he will have more helpers. Luyu clan's strongest people are on Golden Moon. Qin Yun promised Divine Be King that he would exterminate these Luyu clan people. Yuanmei, I contacted Sister Bing Xing. Qin Yun said. Xiao Yuanmei puffed up her cheeks and nodded. She said in low voice, Brother, I am really useless. You are still more awesome than me. You entered 5-star city earlier, have Divine Tree Command, and even contacted Sister Bing Xing. Qin Yun kissed her forehead, pinched her cheeks, and said with smile, Yuanmei, you are also very capable. You managed to contact Falling Moon Palace Master. I need you to help me find her. I want to discuss something with her, something very important. Chapter 1642. 1642, Chapter 1642, Confusing Qin Yun pulled her delicate lily-white hand and then told her about his encounter with the Divine Be King inside the Divine Tree. Xiao Yuanmei has already heard about his recent encounter. Although she knows that nothing will happen to Qin Yun, she is still very worried. Xiao Yuanmei realized that Qin Yun wants to exterminate Luyu clan, so she is very happy to help contact Falling Moon Palace Master. Brother, I can contact Falling Moon Palace Master through Jinhua. Tonight, I will send her a message and ask her to come to 5-star city. Xiao Yuanmei said. All right, Qin Yun said with smile. Yuanmei is really awesome. She helped me find a very awesome helper. Of course. Xiao Yuanmei very happily laughed. Yuanmei, you should have heard about Liu Shuyan, right? Qin Yun asked. Are you together with her? Xiao Yuanmei asked. It's hard to say. Qin Yun shook his head with frown. I think she's the clone of someone we know. Soon after, he explained the matter of Liu Shuyan to Xiao Yuanmei in detail. After Xiao Yuanmei finished listening, she is also thinking who it is. Yuanmei, do you think it is? Does Yuelan have this kind of clone? Qin Yun asked. Definitely not, big sister. Xiao Yuanmei shook her head and said, her feelings for you are very deep, but it is definitely not like this. I feel that Liu Shuyan definitely knew your past life's immortal king Fu Yun, and even interacted with him for a period of time. Could she be Sister Bing Xing's clone? Qin Yun said in amazement. No, Sister Bing Xing is very cold inside. She would never brazenly reveal her feelings for you. Moreover, she does not have such a flirtatious side. When she first met you in your past life, she was still a very pure and innocent little girl. Xiao Yuanmei shook her head. Then what about Big Sister Yang? Qin Yun asked again. She denied that she is not Big Sister Yang, so it is definitely not her. Although Big Sister Yang is not cold inside, she is definitely not like Liu Shuyan. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Is it little Malian? Qin Yun said again. No, little Malian has always been very pure and innocent. Xiao Yuanmei shook her head and said, I know who it is, Aunt Xiao Xianqin. Qin Yun said with a smile. It must be her. Xiao Yuanmei rolled her eyes and said, That's even more impossible. Aunt doesn't dare to admit that she has feelings for you, but she secretly cares about you very much. Previously, Big Sister said that she was very concerned about Little Yun. Then I told her that Annie liked Little Yun and that she had spent some time with Little Yun. She was very angry at that time and kept pinching my face. After that, she ignored me. Qin Yun said with a frown. Could that be Yu? Xiao Yuanmei curled her lips and said, Yu is a very overbearing kind of person. She will definitely use a very overbearing way to love you. She will definitely not be that gentle and even less charming. Qin Yun suddenly thought of someone and could not help but let out a strange cry. However, he did not dare to confirm that it was her. Brother, who did you think of? Xiao Yuanmei asked anxiously. It can't be her, but it can only be her. Qin Yun said with a frown. Who? Xiao Yuanmei is also very curious. Qin Yun shook his head again and again. Impossible, impossible. Xiao Yuanmei became anxious. She pinched Qin Yun's face and urged, Brother, quickly tell me who it is. Sister Yao Fong. Qin Yun said, It's your master elder sister, Fong Yue Yao. Qin Yun has never seen Yao Fong's appearance. Yao Fong used to be very beautiful, but later on she was cursed by Devil Immortal Great Emperor and became very ugly. But later on, she came to Immortal Desolate and removed the curse. Yao Fong restored her appearance, but she did not show it to Qin Yun. When she saw Qin Yun before, she was wearing a mask. Master Elder's sister has this kind of feeling for you. Xiao Yuanmei slightly shook her head. Is this true? It's not very possible. Of course, not many people know about the matter between you two, because it happened a long time ago. Yuanmei, draw your Master Elder sister for me to see. Qin Yun took out a piece of paper. I can't draw it. Xiao Yuanmei took the paper and immediately became startled. Qin Yun said in amazement, What? You can't even remember your Master Elder sister's appearance? I suddenly don't have any memory of her appearance. It is very strange. I only know that she is very beautiful. I can't even remember her voice. Xiao Yuanmei's small mouth is slightly open. Liu Shuyan is actually Sister Yao Fong's avatar? Qin Yun said in amazement. What is Sister Yao Fong's origin? Why does she have an avatar? Generally speaking, only those formidable gods can leave behind this kind of avatar. In other words, Yao Fong used to be a god? Yao Fong is very mysterious. Moreover, her relationship with Xie Qiru is very good. Moreover, Yao Fong was found inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul. Xie Qiru is moon god. Yao Fong might also have been a god. What Qin Yun finds most inconceivable is that Yao Fong actually has such deep feelings for him. Yao Fong also spent some time with Qin Yun inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul. Both of them had a great conflict, but later the conflict was resolved. Yao Fong even obtained Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. Who is she? Yao Fong? Fong Yue Yao? Liu Shuyan? Qin Yun shook his head and sighed. Who cares so much? Let nature take its course. Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. Maybe the one who loves you is Liu Shuyan and not Master Sister. Qin Yun suddenly thought of something and said, Yuanmei, I remember that you also have a very bloodthirsty side. Yuelan is also the same, and your sister, Yao Fong's disciples. Why is that? Brother, can I not say it? Xiao Yuanmei said coquettishly, This is my little secret. I promised Master Sister I would not say it. Of course you can, Qin Yun said with smile, and rubbed Xiao Yuanmei's face. Brother, wait for that bastard Liu clan to give me silver crystal coins. Then take me to the top of the divine tree for a stroll. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. I can't wait to go up and take a look. There is also divine honey. Ha 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 ha. Don't be greedy. Leave some for little Mo. Qin Yun said. I know. Mo is so cute. I have also collected many delicious things for her. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Suddenly someone knocked on the door. Falling Moon Palace Master. I am shopkeeper who of Heaven Gathering Building. Elder Lu Yu has arrived. Shopkeeper who said, I will go down now. Xiao Yuanmei took out a mask and said to Qin Yun, Brother, come with me. Qin Yun said with smile, All right, let's go. He also put on a black mask and followed Xiao Yuanmei down. The lobby of Heaven Gathering Building's first floor is already filled with many people. Elder Lu Yu has arrived. She is wearing luxurious blue robe. There are more than 10 Lu Yu clan people behind her. They're also wearing luxurious clothes. They're all heavenly, immortal middle-aged people. Xiao Yuanmei appeared with Qin Yun. Her imposing manner is very strong. Moreover, while walking, she is playing with the falling moon bloodblade filled with devil power. Qin Yun is following behind her. He is doing his utmost to urge heavenly might Tao techniques vast and mighty heavenly might, making his body release heavenly might power. This way, Xiao Yuanmei will appear even more imposing. 200 million silver crystal coins. Did you bring it? Xiao Yuanmei looked at Lu Yu and Jie Ting and said in cold voice. Her voice is also deliberately disguised. It truly sounds like Falling Moon Palace Master. Lu Yu Jieting is Elder Lu Yu's most beloved son. Moreover, he has already signed a contract with Xiao Yuanmei. If he does not hand over 200 million silver crystal coins to Xiao Yuanmei, he will die. I brought it. I am afraid you won't be able to keep it. Elder Lu Yu coldly groaned and said, Falling Moon Palace Master, long time no see. You are actually so poor. Oh ho, I gave your little bastard a way out, gave you the opportunity to buy his dog life, and you actually said I'm poor? Xiao Yuanmei said in cold voice. How about this? I don't want the 200 million silver crystal coins. I will take this little bastard's dog life. How about it? How can that be? My youngest son's life is very precious. Not to mention 200 million. I would even buy it for 2 billion. Elder Lu Yu chuckled and said, Falling Moon Palace Master, I used 200 million to buy back my son's life. I earned big and you lost big. Xiao Yuanmei knows that Elder Lu Yu is angering her, but she is still very unhappy in her heart. Take out the silver crystal coins. Xiao Yuanmei shouted. Falling Moon Palace Master, you usually don't show your face. Why did you appear here in such a high-profile manner? Elder Lu Yu asked. Because I have a passage pass. I will soon leave this damned place. Of course, I want to travel around and find old friends to reminisce. Xiao Yuanmei spoke, took out a passage pass and shook it. Ancient Garden Passage Pass. With this passage pass, it means that one can leave the ancient garden and go to the vast immortal desolate. Immediately, several gazes filled with envy and jealousy stared at the passage pass. Many people have the thought of snatching it, but they don't dare. This is a 5-star city, and the other party is Falling Moon Palace Master. Who would dare? Xiao Yuanmei put away the passage pass and said with sneer, Lu Yu clan bastards, I will go to Immortal Desolate soon. I don't need to bother with you guys anymore. Elder Lu Yu's eyes are filled with jealousy and hatred. Leaving the ancient garden is also the dream of their Lu Yu clan's upper echelons. Elder Lu Yu's expression is cold. She took out a large disc of silver crystal coins. Each of them is 1,000,000 Jin. Xiao Yuanmei has a storage magic tool, but it is very small. It can't store that much. Qin Yun has a very large storage magic tool. He can store it all. Qin Yun received all the silver crystal coins from the side. A storage magic tool that can store so many silver crystal coins. Moreover, it is on the body of a follower. This is very shocking. 200 million. That's enough. Qin Yun said in low voice. All right, let's go. Let's go stroll around the divine tree. Xiao Yuanmei clapped her hands, then walked out of the Heaven Gathering restaurant with her hands behind her back. Even if it's you, it won't be that easy to climb the divine tree. You have to go through the entrance at the root. Elder Lu Yu said with sneer, and I am the person in charge of the entrance. After Xiao Yuanmei walked out, Qin Yun pulled her hand and activated floating immortal rune ability to envelop Xiao Yuanmei. Then he soared into the sky and quickly flew towards the divine tree. They are flying. The people below are immediately shocked. There are actually people who can fly under the divine tree. Elder Luyu's mouth is also wide open. She looked at the two figures quickly flying high up in the sky. Qinyan wants to bring Xiao Yuanmei up and then find Liang Qin and Yao Cixi to cultivate Sun and Moonheart Sutra together. If the divine tree reaches the stage of bearing fruit, it is very likely that many things will happen. Chapter 1643. Storm outside the city. Qin Yun brought Xiao Yuanmei to the top of the divine tree to admire the flowers and watch the divine bees gather honey. Xiao Yuanmei is very mischievous. She is riding those large divine bees and running all over the place. It is also because of Qin Yun's good relationship with the divine bee king that he allowed Xiao Yuanmei to ride the combat-type divine bee. Qin Yun is standing on a tree branch. Divine Bee King is also beside him. He chuckled and said, "This little girl is truly naughty. She is not like a girl at all." Xiao Yuanmei is riding on the great divine bee and smiling charmingly. She looks very happy. Divine Bee King, so many Willow Moon clan people have been killed. They will surely come again. Qin Yun said, "We won't be afraid of them anymore. We were careless before, so we were frozen by them." The Divine Bee King was furious at the mention of this matter. By the way, there must be a traitor in the Divine Tree Palace, right? Qin Yun suddenly recalled Elder Luyu. Elder Luyu was guarding the entrance to the Divine Tree. The traitor was him. There must be. Otherwise, those fellows wouldn't have been able to enter our hive so easily. The Divine Bee King frowned and said, "I must find out who it is." "Aren't you going to talk to Palatial Lord Divine Tree?" asked Qin Yun. "I don't want to go. That old woman is sick. She doesn't care about anything." The Divine Bee King snorted. "Otherwise, we wouldn't have been frozen." Qin Yun only knew that the Divine Tree Palatial Lord rarely cared about the Elder's internal strife. However, the Sacred Bee and the Sacred Tree's heart were extremely important to the Sacred Tree. He took out the communication talisman and sent a message to the Divine Tree Palace Master. "Palace Master, Divine Bee King is looking for you." "Divine Bee King? Little Qin, did you make the Divine Bee appear again?" asked the Divine Tree Palace Lord. "It's a long story," Qin Yun replied. "Come down and take a look. Bring Cixi and Sister Qin down too." Not long after, the Palace Lord brought Yao Cixi and Liang Qin down. Only the Palace Master of the Divine Tree had a magic treasure that could fly under the Divine Tree. When she came down, she was surprised to see the Divine Bee King. "Divine Bee King, what happened to you earlier? Why didn't he appear?" The Divine Tree Palace Lord exclaimed. "Don't talk about it. It's all because of the Willow Moon clan." The Divine Bee King snorted. "Your Divine Tree Palace is too much. You let so many Willow Moon clan people enter the main hive and almost destroyed the heart of the Divine Tree. There's such a thing." Divine Tree Palace Master is very alarmed as he looked at Qin Yun. "Let's talk inside." The Divine Bee King walked towards a large tree hole. The Divine Tree Palatial Lord gave Qin Yun 50,000 kilograms of instant void, immortal metal before following the Divine Bee King in. "Yuanmei, come meet your new friend." Qin Yun shouted at Xiao Yuanmei. Xiao Yuanmei is riding on a large divine bee. She quickly flew over and beautifully jumped down from the divine bee's back. Xiao Yuanmei saw Yao Cixi and Liang Qin and said with a smile, "I know who they are." She pointed at Liang Qin and smiled. "That must be Yao Cixi." Then he pointed at Yao Cixi and said, "This is Sister Qin." Liang Qin and Yao Cixi couldn't help but laugh. Qin Yun pinched her face and said with a smile, "You got it wrong." Xiao Yuanmei stuck out her tongue. "This is my little sister, Xiao Yuanmei," Qin Yun said with a smile. "She also came from a mortal desolate." Xiao Yuanmei immediately pulled Liang Qin and Yao Cixi, then called over 3 great divine bees. She rode on the back of the great divine bee and flew around to play. Then they competed to see who is faster. Moreover, they also made the great divine bee roll around in the air. Liang Qin and Yao Cixi very quickly became Xiao Yuemei's playmates. Yao Cixi and Liang Qin are the kind of people who love to play. Moreover, they are riding large divine bees and flying through the divine tree's crown. They are in close contact with many beautiful flowers. It is a very cool thing for them. Not long after, Divine Tree Palace Master and Divine Bee King came out. Their expression is very relaxed. It can be seen that their discussion is very good. Qin Yun asked the Divine Tree Palace Master to help him exchange Elder Lu Yu's 200 million silver crystal coins for 400 million sacred Xian silver crystals. The Divine Tree Palace Master is very happy to help Qin Yun because Qin Yun promised her that he would refine a very large storage magic tool for her. Qin Yun also plans to stay at the Divine Bee King's place and wait for the Divine Tree to blossom and bear fruit. He asked Xiao Yuemei to follow the Divine Tree Palace Master to call over Lan Fengjin, Jin Linglong, and Xiang Yalan. Qin Yun wants to refine many things next. He needs many instant space sacred pearls. Lan Fengjin, Jin Linglong, and Xiang Yalan are all very good inscription masters. Qin Yun taught them how to use Pill, Transformation Heavenly Furnace, and use Sacred Xian Silver Crystals to refine instant space sacred pearls. When Yao Cixi entered the city, she obtained 50 million silver crystal coins from Elder Lu Yu. She asked the Divine Tree Palace Master to exchange them for 100 million sacred Xian silver crystals. Qin Yun, Jin Linglong, Yao Cixi, and other women are cultivating together inside the secret room. They are absorbing a great amount of sacred Xian silver crystals and also have the power provided by the Divine Tree's heart. Even so, their cultivation speed is very slow. If not for many women joining in, their cultivation speed would be even slower. Luckily, he has enough sacred Xian silver crystals. After a few days, he finally broke through to 9th level Golden Immortal Realm. This also consumed more than 100 million sacred Xian silver crystals. His and Yao Cixi's sacred Xian silver crystals are almost completely consumed. Qin Yun looked at the small divine hammer that is revolving around the Nether Sun. The Nether Sun totem on it has already become very complete. Little heavenly lion with heavenly Tao, ferocious power, and little divine hammer with heavenly Tao flame, violent power, have both reached perfection in one stage. And next is the little dragon who cultivates heavenly Tao, proud power. It needs to go through heavenly immortal realm and immortal king realm to reach perfection. What caused Qin Yun to be somewhat surprised is that the little divine hammer has become tool spirit and attached itself to other forging hammers. It can actually display very good might. This would allow him to release an even stronger flame power when he was forging materials. Qin Yun doesn't have any more sacred Xian silver crystals. Luckily, he refined many instant space sacred pearls before, and they're all of very high quality. He wants to refine 10 storage magic tools with very large space and hand them over to Yao family in exchange for 200 million sacred Xian silver crystals. Xiao Yun, continue using sacred Xian silver crystals to cultivate. The consumption is too great. Let's wait for the divine fruit. Otherwise, it will be a waste of sacred Xian silver crystals. Jin Linglong said. Qin Yun nodded and said, "We can only wait for the divine fruit." Jin Linglong's cultivation is the highest among them. She has been a great help to Qin Yun during joint cultivation. Qin Yun went to find Divine Bee King and asked for 500 million sacred Xian silver crystals and 50,000 Jin of instant space immortal iron. Then he continued to refine storage magic tools with Jin Linglong and others. After forging 10 storage artifacts, they sent Yao Cixi to look for Elder Yao of the Celestial Tree Palace to trade. And Divine Bee King also used up a lot of sacred Xian silver crystals and instant space immortal iron to refine high-quality instant space sacred pearls with Dan Transformation Heavenly Furnace. Using over 100 million profound Saint silver crystals and 50,000 kilograms of instant space immortal iron, the pill melting Heavenly Furnace was able to refine a super high-quality instant space Saint Pearl. Divine Bee King is very satisfied with Qin Yun's storage magic tools. He repeatedly praised Qin Yun and called him Heavenly Master. Sacred Qian silver crystals are used up really quickly. Only 400 million. Qin Yun sighed endlessly. The more you have, the faster you use them. Lan Fengjin said with smile. Master, you also earn very quickly. This is indeed the case. Sacred Qian silver crystals can be regenerated, and many have been accumulated in the ancient garden for many years. When Qin Yin complained about using up sacred Qian silver crystals very quickly, Divine Tree Palace Master contacted him and said that he has finished exchanging for sacred Qian silver crystals. Elder Lu Yu gave 200 million to Xiao Yuanmei. Only Divine Tree Palace Master can exchange so many silver crystal coins for sacred Qian silver crystals so quickly. Elder Lu Yu gave 200 million silver crystal coins to Xiao Yuanmei. Only Divine Tree Palace Master can exchange so many silver crystal coins for sacred Qian silver crystals. Although this kind of thing was forbidden, it had no control over the Divine Tree Palace Master. And Liang family also used 100 million sacred Qian silver crystals to buy entry pass and storage space from Qin Yun through Liang Qin. Through Liang Qin, the Liang family used 100 million sacred profound silver crystals to purchase entry tokens and storage space from Qin Yun, allowing the entire Liang family to leave. The Yao family's 200 million profound Saint silver crystals were also brought to Yao Cici. Qin Yun now has more than 1 billion sacred Qian silver crystals. But he feels that it is still not enough, it is still too little. Later when he goes to Immortal Desolate, sacred Qian silver crystals will be very useful. After eating divine trees, divine fruits, I will become a very powerful heavenly immortal and then immortal king. Maybe in less than 10 years, I will become immortal emperor. Entering Sacred Desolate will be a matter of time. Qin Yin wants to hoard some sacred Qian silver crystals before entering Sacred Desolate. While Qin Yin is thinking about how to get more sacred Qian silver crystals, he suddenly received a message from Divine Tree Palace Master. Xiao Qin, many powerful factions from Ancient Garden have gathered outside 5-Star City. 3 palaces and 6 sects, as well as some powerful families, have gathered outside. Moreover, many factions from Immortal Desolate have also gathered outside. Divine Tree Palace Master said, now Divine Tree's flowers have bloomed very big. Divine bees have collected a lot of nectar and are bearing fruit faster and faster. Because Divine Tree wants to bear even better divine fruits this time, the blooming period has also become longer. Originally, it was 7 days, but now it has been increased to 1 month. In the past few days, Qin Yun had been cultivating and refining those things. It took him almost a month's time. They are all here. Qin Yun's eyes lit up. He feels that he can take this opportunity to sell his entry passes. Refining an ancient era's garden passage token was much easier than refining a storage magic treasure. Indeed, now many people know that you have many ancient garden entry passes. Divine Tree Palace Master chuckled and said, Xiao Qin, how many entry passes do you have? Not many, Qin Yun said. Now everyone knows how awesome Qin Yun is in Immortal Desolate. Not only does he have many entry passes, he has also provoked many powerful factions. It is the same for him inside Ancient Garden. Those powerful factions are helpless against him. How many exactly? Divine Tree Palace Master asked again. 30. Qin Yun casually said a number and said again, Palace Master Granny, don't randomly sell the entry passes in your hands. Indeed, not many. Don't worry, I won't randomly sell them. They are good things for me to form a faction. Divine Tree Palace Master said with mischievous smile. Qin Yun decided to let Divine Tree Palace Master bring them out later. He wants to see if Wei Zhongjing and others have arrived or not. If he has Wei Zhongjing's Nether Sect, Shiman family, and Li Shengqi's protection, he will be a lot safer. I want a lot of sacred Qian silver crystals. Qin Yun laughed mischievously in his heart, and then began tidying up his clothes. Xiao Yuanmei and Liang Qin are playing outside. Yao Cece is meeting up with Yao family people. There are many powerful aristocratic families gathered outside Five-Star City. They are all staring at the crown of Divine Tree, waiting for the petals to fall. Only Qin Yun knows that after those petals fall, they will be collected by divine bees and used to make honey. Chapter 1644. Flower Fall. Qin Yun is standing on a tree branch, looking at the gradually darkening sky outside. After the sky darkened, the ancient garden welcomed a gorgeous multicolored night. Divine Tree's flower leaves and tree trunk are also gradually emitting cold light. The pink-red flower has become very big. Each petal is several meters long, emitting pink light in the night. It is very beautiful. Uma, Sister Qin, prepare to leave the city. Qin Yun yelled, "Why are we leaving the city?" Xiao Yueme is riding on a very large divine bee and is flying over. This divine bee is more than twice the size of the previous one. It is unknown why. I want to go to the city to fish up some sacred Xian silver crystals. Qin Yun said with a smile, "There are many big shots outside the city. I want to do business." Liang Qin jumped down from the divine bee's back and said with a smile, "Xiao Qin, I won't go. I want to stay here and play." "I also don't want to go. I will wait for Grandma Luoyue to come, Sister Qin, and I will go out." Xiao Yueme said with a smile, "All right, do as you wish." Qin Yun shook his head and smiled, then took out a communication talisman and contacted Divine Tree Palace Master. Divine Tree Palace Master is also about to go out. She realized that Qin Yun wants to go out with her and guessed that Qin Yun wants to do business. Divine Tree Palace Master is riding a small boat and slowly floated down from the top of the Divine Tree. After the small boat landed, Divine Tree Palace Master is standing upright on it and said with a smile, "Xiao Qin, quickly come up." After Qin Yun jumped up, Divine Tree Palace Master hastily urged the small boat to fly out of the city. "Xiao Qin, you said before that you would refine a very large storage magic tool for me. When will you finish? I want to bring a lot of things out." Divine Tree Palace Master said, I lack sacred Xian silver crystals." "Granny Palace Master, how many do you have?" Qin Yun said, "I will give you 500 million. It should be enough for you to spend, right?" Divine Tree Palace Master said, "She knows that Qin Yun can refine it, because Liang Qin told her before that Qin Yun can refine a storage magic tool that can be used even in a mortal desolate." "All right," Qin Yun nodded. 500 million genes of sacred Xian silver crystals is a very large sum. "Little Qin, are you going out of the city to sell your pass?" asked the Divine Tree Palace Lord with a smile. "Indeed, when the time comes, I will ask Palace Master Granny to introduce me to some people." Qin Yun said, "All right, you still have 30 entry tokens. If one of them can be sold for 100 million Saint Profound silver crystals, it will be 3 billion. Divine Tree Palace Master said with a mischievous smile. Qin Yun's entry tokens are very popular in ancient gardens. Qin Yun did not know where Wei Zhongjing and company were. He wanted to go out and see if they were outside. Many people from another sect came in. They are a very powerful force. If they are not outside the city, they must have other important things to do. Also, what did Li Xingqi from the Leaf family of the Inscription World do after he led his team into the ancient garden? Soon, he arrived outside the city with the Divine Tree Palace Lord. Outside the city, there were many large and small tents or temporary houses. Many people couldn't enter the five-star city, so they could only stay outside the city. Although the elders of the major sects could enter the city, they couldn't be too far away from the juniors. Now many sects have gathered together, and many juniors have arrived. Young and impetuous juniors don't know the gravity of the situation. Without elders present, it is impossible to control them. They have gathered outside the city and are waiting for flower petals to float down. If their luck is good, many flower petals will float outside the city and they will be able to pick them up. After arriving outside the city, Qin Yun followed the Divine Tree Palace Master to meet many people and inquired about some things. Nether Sect, Dragon Race, Li family, and Wang family of the Inscription World joined hands after entering. Moreover, in order to plunder things, they fought with Xian family, Long family, Shao family, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, and other factions. Shimin family and Qin family did not participate. Among the 3 palaces and 6 sects, there were a few powerful sects that had participated in the robbery at that time, but none of them had been able to obtain anything. After all, they had to face the formidable dragon race, who can transform into giant dragons. Qin Yun also learned that the things they are fighting over are 4 mysterious golden steels. These steels are not very big, they are only half a person tall. Finally, the steels were obtained by Dragon Race, Nether Sect, Li family, and Wang family. Because of this, these 4 factions were besieged. Luckily, they were strong enough to break through the siege and escape. What caused Qin Yun to be puzzled is that Nether Sect, Dragon Race, and the other 2 factions all left through the Ancient Gardens Gate. That was because, to them, obtaining those 4 mysterious steels was the greatest harvest they had ever obtained. As long as they stay in the Ancient Garden for a few days, they will know how difficult it is to obtain a Sun Spirit. None of them thought of obtaining a Sun Spirit. So after obtaining the mysterious steels, they collected some sacred mysterious silver crystals and left the Ancient Garden. Qin Yun originally wanted to find some powerful helpers to help deal with the Willow Yu clan. Nether Sect and Li family are very strong. All right, I can only think of another way. Qin Yun thought in his heart. Qin Yun wants to take this opportunity to sell the passage pass and exchange it for some sacred mysterious silver crystals. After he and the Divine Tree Palace master strolled around, they discovered that something is amiss. Outside the city, other than Divine Tree Palace and Falling Moon Palace, all the other sects have very good relationship with the Willow Yu clan. In particular, there were a few big shots who gave Qin Yun an odd feeling. Of course, he also saw the leaders of the Shao family, Long family, and other factions. These people are all his enemies. Shimin and Qin family are not here. Qin Yun heard from the Sun and Eye sect that the Shimin and Qin family joined hands to explore the most dangerous abyss of the Ancient Garden. It is very likely that they will suffer heavy casualties. Although the Divine Tree Palace Master rarely shows his face, his relationship with the big shots of the various sects is quite good. When he sees those big shots, he will have a hypocritical smile on his face and greet them. At this time, an old man from the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate asked, "Divine Tree Palace Master, I heard that your relationship with Qin Yun is very good, and you even gave him the Divine Tree Command token. Is that true?" Qin Yun disguised himself as an old man and followed behind the Divine Tree Palace Master. No one can recognize him. I didn't give it to him. I used the Divine Tree Command token to exchange for the Passage Pass, the Divine Tree Palace Master said with a smile. His Passage Pass can let me leave the Ancient Garden. When the big shots of the other sects heard this, they all let out a low cry and looked at the Divine Tree Palace Master with envy. "Divine Tree Palace Master, can you let Qin Yun sell a Passage Pass to me?" The one who spoke is an old man. "This, I will have to see him to know," the Divine Tree Palace Master said with a faint smile. "If the price is right, then it will definitely not be a problem." The Immortal family people groaned and said, "That guy Qin Yun will definitely demand an exorbitant price." Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates people are also very unhappy because they entered the Ancient Garden and didn't get anything. Yet Qin Yun can use the Passage Pass to exchange for a large amount of sacred Xian silver crystals. It must be known that the sacred Xian silver crystal mines in the Ancient Garden are controlled by the major powers. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates people don't have enough strength to rob them. Moreover, they don't have storage magic tools. The reason why they are still here is because they want to wait for the Divine Tree to bloom and bear fruit. Then they can take some money and leave. Qin Yun followed the Divine Tree Palace Master and walked around the crowd outside the city. He learned that the Passage Pass is something that many big shots yearn for. Qin Yun handed over the 30 Passage Passes to the Divine Tree Palace Master and entrusted her to help him sell them. Each one is sold for 200 million sacred Xian silver crystals. At night, the Divine Tree Palace Master brought Qin Yun to open tents to sell the Passage Passes. In the middle of the night, they were all sold out in exchange for 6 billion genes of sacred Xian silver crystals. The storage magic tools in the hands of these big shots are rather large, and there are quite a few of them. They also have a lot of sacred Xian silver crystals and silver crystal coins on them, so they can pay a large amount of sacred Xian silver crystals at any time. Late at night, Qin Yun followed the divine Tree Palace Master back to 5-Star City and stood on the small boat. Xiao Qin, you should have a lot of passage passes in your hands, right? Why are you only willing to sell 30 to them? Can't you sell a bit more? The divine Tree Palace Master asked. Those guys have an extremely good relationship with the Lu Yu clan, Qin Yun said with frown. When I approached them, I discovered a bit of moon devil heavenly wolf aura on their bodies. I don't know if it's my misconception or not. Oh, are you worried that after those guys go to the immortal desolate, they will cause great harm to the immortal desolate? The divine Tree Palace Master said. Qin Yun nodded. I suspect that the Lu Yu clan's people did something to them. Qin Yun once helped Liang Qin and Yao Cixi expel that strange power and also came into contact with Liang Yuping, who turned into a moon devil heavenly wolf. Therefore, he is very sensitive and familiar with that kind of aura. The divine Tree Palace Master looked at the golden moon in the sky and said with a grave expression, the Lu Yu clan has always mastered all kinds of mysterious evil arts. They might have a way to leave the ancient garden through the immortal desolate people. Qin Yun also thought of something, for example possession, or something like invading the bodies of those people from the immortal desolate. Granny Palace Master, what are you thinking about? Qin Yun saw that the divine Tree Palace Master's expression is very grave and asked. The divine Tree Palace Master looked at the golden moon and shook his head. I am a bit worried about the Lu Yu clan. Hearing what you said, I suddenly feel that the Lu Yu clan has already infiltrated the 3 palaces and 6 sects. Previously, the divine tree's divine bee was sealed in ice by the traitor Elder Lu Yu. When the divine Tree Palace Master found out about this matter, he wanted to capture Elder Lu Yu, but all the Lu Yu clan people inside the divine Tree Palace disappeared. The Lu Yu clan people suddenly ran away. I am worried that they have already joined hands with other sects. The divine Tree Palace Master said. The Lu Yu clan's goal is the divine tree, and the other sect goal is the divine fruits. They have common interest. If the Lu Yu clan can completely control the divine tree and 5-Star City, they will definitely be willing to use the divine fruits as a reward to thank the other sections. It seems like we have to prepare well. Qin Yun said, I will go find the divine bee king. The divine Tree Palace Master nodded and said. Not long after, they returned to the divine tree. The divine Tree Palace Master went to find the divine bee king and told them to be on guard against the Lu Yu clan. The divine Tree Palace Master also went back to arrange people. Qin Yun is inside a secret room inside the honeycomb. He is continuing to refine storage magic tool. He wants to refine a storage magic tool with a very large space. It is for the divine Tree Palace Master. Qin Yun, Jin Linglong, and the others joined hands and spent 3 days to refine it. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.